Good evening, Slice and Dicers. Welcome to our Friday night stream where we are going to dive into Vaesen, which is a relatively new, came out within the last couple of years, system from my favorite independent game designer, Free League, based out of Sweden. They're the best. They made Alien, which you have watched us play many times. They're responsible for Blade Runner. And those are both based on movie franchises. But what we have here is an entirely new system, still running on their traditional D6 model, but with some very striking differences to the way the other games work as well, which we will get into in this session 0/0.5. We're going to spend the first part of this evening talking about the system itself and doing some character creation with these lovely folks. And then, depending on how long all that takes us, we may dive into the opening of The Mystery, The Dance of Dreams, which, if you have purchased the book, is the published mystery in the end of the book. I'm going to turn off my sexy background for a second because I do want to showcase. Come here, get up to the nun. All right, there we go. I want to showcase these amazing books. So this is the original, the first, the Vaesen Nordic horror mystery. And it is based on this book, Vaesen, by Johan Egerkrans. I'm going to apologize in advance for how badly I butcher many of these names. I'm doing my best. But he published this beautiful, beautiful art book. If you're familiar with Brian Froud, who drew the Fairies book back in the 70s and was one of the main creature designers for Labyrinth, this is very much in that vein. It is all these traditional Vaesen creatures from Nordic mythology. And he sort of gives you the history on them and has this beautiful, beautiful art. I'm absolutely in love with his drawing style. And this is cool because this book has some that aren't in the regular, in the role-playing book, and it also has the original Scandinavian names in it too, which is very cool. So I was very, very excited to purchase this. They have also done an expansion for Mythic Ireland and Britain. And which is all, British Isles folklore. They also give really clear instructions for just creating your own Vaesen out of any mythology you like. So technically this game could go anywhere in the world. It's very cool. And on that note, I will also say that I pronounce it Vaesen because in my brain, that's what I hear. I looked up pronunciations online, and depending on what country the person came from, there were 6 different ways to say it. So I'm just going to go with my Americanized version, though. Arne, how do you say it?
I think it's pretty much spot on. It's supposed to be Vaesen.
It is Vaesen. Okay.
Yeah. It's
because I go ahead.
It's
sorry.
Germanic. So in Dutch we say Wezen. In Germany they will say Wesen. So it's
Okay.
pretty close to what you're saying.
Okay, good. Then that makes me feel better because I had one that was like Vaesen, and another that was Vaesen. And I was like, you know what? My brain hurts. I'm just going to say Vaesen. I'm going to go with my Americanized version.
It's so refreshing to have a native speaker rather than us being I'm American and this is how I think it's pronounced.
I mean, you know me. I'm online looking up pronunciation guides for everything.
I know, but just to have Arne here.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, no Americans.
Otherwise,
I'm just this small Belgian guy.
And we appreciate you. Speaking of which, before we really dive into this, let's go around the horn and introduce ourselves. Let me look at the thing and see who's okay. So let's go with the person who is to my. Am I pointing the right way?
Other way.
That way.
Yeah.
Let's go right here. We're gonna go counterclockwise. So Jane.
Oh, hi. I'm Jane. You can find us on our wonderful Discord. That's where I post most often. My most recent post was actually pictures of my cat. I posted pictures of my cat, Samantha.
Kitty.
I'm just going to transition us very awkwardly to having socials up. So apologies there. There we go.
It's all good.
That's cool.
And I go by Miss Deadite on Twitter, although I'm not there very often. And I also have Instagram, which I haven't really posted anything on in a very long time, but maybe eventually I'll go back to doing that. Who knows? So,
Excellent. And then next up is Ben.
Hi, I'm Ben. Mostly on most platforms, I'm Ironhead454. You can always find me on the Slices and Dices Discord, as well as the Mates of Fate, streaming with both groups occasionally. And you can find me on TikTok doing stupid crap.
Nice, which is what TikTok is for. And
Right.
relatively new face coming up next, we have Arne.
Hi guys. You can find me also on the Discord, where I'm also Iridonian, and I am also streaming, well, not through the streaming, but playing Alien RPG on our YouTube channel. And if this game becomes a thing, you'll see me here more often.
Huzzah! And finally, down to Mr. Matt.
Hi, everybody. Side note, this gentleman right here above me, let me tell you, every time his group plays Alien RPG, they play it in, like, a studio that's done up, like, seriously, hardcore, with all the things that you would expect from, like, a Hollywood set.
It's just my garage.
I don't care if it's just your garage. It's amazing.
Okay,
It looks
so
awesome.
field trip to Arne's house.
Yes,
Let's
I'm going to go to Belgium
And
tomorrow.
let's play Alien together.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I just need money. Anyway,
The one thing we can't have.
I know. But that aside, hi everybody. I'm Matt. I'm kind of the guy who knows what to do sometimes around here at Slices and Dices Central, whatever you want to call it. I like running games. I like being in games. I like being with cool people, and you guys are amongst all the cool people. So welcome and happy. Yeah, jump into our Discord. That's where you'll find all these folks and chat away.
Amazing. And I am Sarah, your Dungeon Llama. You can find me on our Discord at Lovely Llama and on various socials of that ilk. You find me here on Slices playing most games, but this one, I'm in the driver's seat. And with that, I'm gonna do the thing that I'm gonna try to make as interesting as possible while I do it, which is I want to read you a chunk from the beginning of the book, because I think that it pretty much just sets the tone for what this game is. And I'm gonna put a little moderately creepy music on in the background.
Yay!
There we go. That feels good. All right. So, throughout history, supernatural Vaesen have lived side by side with the people of Scandinavia. But these creatures are not perceptible to human senses, unless they choose to be. Invisible, they have helped out on farms, assisted in calving, made sure that stray ewes find their way home, and kept people safe during harsh winters or wildfires. In exchange, of course, for some of the farmers' milk and grain. Vaesen have filled the fields with flowers, shown the way to ponds where people can see their future reflected on the surface, and whispered dreams into the ears of the sleeping. In the 19th century, Scandinavia is changed by industrialization, war, and revolutions, and new ways of thinking and understanding the world are spreading through its universities. Old truths are being questioned. The rural poor are pouring into the cities or across the Atlantic to escape starvation, hoping to build a life where they can be free. It is no longer the nobles and priests who decide how people should think and act. Instead, those who are able to use the inventions of this new age can make a fortune and exert influence through their wealth. Factories are emerging around the cities, giving rise to vast suburbs where impoverished workers are crammed together in harsh conditions. The elderly are left behind in the villages, along with those too weak or scared to leave. Meadows become overgrown, forests are cut down, and the construction of railways between cities lays waste to paths and communities that have existed for centuries. Glassworks spew out chemicals while the mines eat their way into the mountains like wolves feasting on a wounded animal. The Vaesen of Scandinavia are changing as well. The villagers used to know how to appease the creatures when angry and gain with their help with farm work. For instance, they refrained from peeing on the ground where the Vaetir have their burrows, and provided the niece with porridge and a new hat every year. But the old rules and traditions no longer seem to apply. The Vaesen have turned aggressive and bloodthirsty, snatching children from the villages, wrecking houses, and setting barns on fire. In certain parts of Scandinavia, the supernatural seems to have grown stronger and started acting erratically, like a storm sweeping over the farmlands. There are rumors of kittens being born with 2 heads, streams where the water is mixed with blood, forests lulling young ones into eternal sleep, and fairies dancing through villages, luring youngsters into the woods to slave for those underground. In other places, the creatures seem to have disappeared from the countryside as if they never existed, and magic along with them. It is also said that some Vaesen have followed people to the cities and found new homes in sewers and abandoned factories. Some people in Scandinavia are able to see the Vaesen even when they're trying to stay invisible. It is called having the sight, and you are one of them. At some point, you experienced something that scared or hurt you. Maybe you almost died in a fire, or a werewolf chose to reveal itself to you. And after that, nothing was the same. Suddenly, you could see nature spirits stealing food from the tables and trolls showing up uninvited to weddings and christenings. You and several others who also have the sight have gathered in Uppsala in central Sweden. And you have learned that there used to be an organization called the Society. Their mission was to study and combat the Vaesen. But the last members of the Society went missing or left the organization about 10 years ago. And since then, the Society's headquarters, the old Castle Gillenkreutz by the Fjords River in Uppsala, has been left to decay. You've decided to re-establish this organization. A former member by the name of Linnea Elfakind, an elderly woman who spends her days at the city's mental asylum, has given you the keys to the castle, along with documents making you its legal owners. You all have your reasons for wanting to track down Vaesen and protect people from them, and you will embark on long journeys to remote villages and regions of the wilderness, attempting to uncover the secrets of Scandinavia. Armed with nothing but your courage, conviction, and ability to see the supernatural, you will come face to face with Vaesen. Neither bullets nor steel can stop them. To drive them off, you must identify their weaknesses. And even if you succeed, your encounters with the Vaesen of the North will leave you with scars that will never heal. And so, that, my friends, is the world that we are about to dive into. The world of the mythical North, which is a alternate timeline, 19th century Scandinavia. What does that mean? Well, it means that while political ideas, real-time events, wars, uprisings that happen, inventions that happened in our world as we know it during that time, can still happen there, but they might happen out of order or they might be slightly different. There is no concrete, well, it's 1842, and so you can't have that thing because it didn't exist yet. That is not part of this world. So, just imagine yourself in your deepest, creepiest Victorian horror movie, and that's pretty much where we're hanging out. Anybody have any questions about that so far? All right. Well, so each of you, as somebody with the sight, we're going to do a little character generation here. Now, you guys have all, these players have all sort of decided on backstory and who they are before we came into this session. What we're going to figure out here is we're going to go through sort of the basics of choosing an archetype and assigning points and skills. They will establish relationships with each other. They will also each have the event that caused them to develop the sight. They will each have a dark secret, which I will know, but the other players will not, and which may come into play. And that, I think, is a good place to begin. So I am going to, actually, I will point out to everybody first, if you go into the handouts area where you can see the player characters and your headquarters, there is a section under handouts. First, there is the 6 principles, which we will go through later, and then game mechanics. So there's a section on how injuries and healing work, section on equipment and weapons, some stuff on combat. And the important thing to know, the thing that differs, to me, the greatest in Vaesen from other role-playing games in general is there's no such thing as hit points in this game. There are conditions, mental conditions and physical conditions. So there are sets of skills that fall under mental and sets of skills that fall under physical. And as things go wrong or you get into a fight, you start to take conditions. And once you take 3 conditions of one type, you become broken, which you all remember from Alien. Broken basically means you can't function. If you are mentally broken, you can like physically run away and like babble incoherently, but you can't do anything that makes sense. If you are physically broken, you physically are screwed up and probably have to crawl, or maybe you're unconscious. Your mind is still functioning, but you can't make rules that affect the game in any way until you seek some sort of healing. Which can come in the form of simply relaxing with your friends and having a drink to heal mental conditions, or seeing a doctor to heal physical conditions. And I feel like we can get into that more as those things arrive. But those conditions are for physical, and I'll put should players so it pops up on that screen. We've got for the physical conditions, exhausted, battered, and wounded. And for mental conditions, we have angry, frightened, and hopeless. And as a player, when you take a condition, you get to choose, like, so if it's like, okay, you take a physical condition, you can choose yourself whether it's exhausted, battered, or wounded, and role play it accordingly. And also take the -1 to all rolls that fall under that category. But you have to work your way through them. So you can't be like, oh, I'm exhausted 3 times. No, you have to do all 3 of them. Same with the mental. And then we've got the classic D66 tables for your critical injuries.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
just pull up physical. And so something that I find especially interesting here is that you notice that when you get to the last 6, while they are all fatal if not treated within the time limit given, as opposed to giving you a defect, they give you an insight. They give you something positive. Now, your insight and your defect will only affect you once per session. It's not a permanent -1 to everything, but it is, for the defect, it is DM's discretion. So it might be you are currently suffering from a fracture and you're force -1, and you are trying to force open a window, and I'm going to say your arm really hurts. You're going to take your defect kicks in, you're going to take a -1 to this roll. You, however, if you have an insight, get to choose when to use your insight once per session. There's also the possibility of these things becoming permanent once you return to headquarters after your mystery. That is something that we will just sort of keep in the back of your minds, and we'll deal with it when the mystery's over and you return to headquarters.
I've also noticed that none of the critical injuries, even the last one, isn't like instant death.
There is no instant death in this game.
Well, goddamn. Finally.
Well, there is no instant death here.
After Alien and Blade Runner.
After Alien and Blade Runner, there is no instant death.
You mean my face won't end up all over the windshield?
I mean, I can't guarantee that it won't.
Where's Patrick? Where's Patrick when you need him?
But something that is important to think about or to recognize is also that you can't just kill Vaesen. This is not about killing the monsters.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
You can't, like, your physical weapons and your fighting abilities that you will have, that's for if you run into people who want to get into your way.
Got it.
When it comes to Vaesen, the most that can do is, like, maybe hold them off while everybody else runs away. Or if you have figured out what its weakness is, and maybe its weakness is that you need to perform a very specific ritual in order to get rid of it or to calm it down, but that ritual is going to take you a couple of minutes,
right?
Then your compatriots might just be trying to like hold it off long enough for the person doing the ritual to finish,
right?
But the answer is never to kill the Vaesen.
So I can't Timor my way through a whole bunch of overchars?
You cannot. No. You cannot just punch the Vaesen in the face until it dies. That is not an option.
Well, damn
it. Unless it is a Vaesen that is specifically weak to fists.
I'll have to find that
but
one.
I don't know if that Vaesen exists, but we'll find out together.
We will.
Matt will find them.
lots of them.
Matt will find the Vaesen that he can punch.
Like all session, I'd be like, they do nothing. My hands. And then finally, like the big boss, he's like, but I can't stand the fingers.
But he has 5 fingers and they're creepy.
Are you already regretting choosing your character?
Hell no. Are you kidding me?
Matt does
Absolutely.
not regret.
I have. What is this word that begins with an R? I don't know what it means.
I cannot wait to meet all these characters. I'm so excited. So let's talk a little bit about, like, we're talking about conditions, talk a little bit about the skills. The skills work in the same sort of tree that the skills in Alien work in, where you've got a heading of, let me get to the page and then I'll tell you. Bookmarks, where are you at? Bum, ba, bum. Skills, there we go. The skills. So, for example, physique is one heading, and then under physique we have agility, close combat, and force. Agility, basically kind of like your D&D dex, your ability to run fast, be flexible, leap out of danger. Close combat, can you punch them in the face? Force, brute strength, how good are you at picking things up and putting them down? Or can you walk all night and day without suffering a condition? Then we've got precision. Under precision, we have medicine, where you can help someone who's hurt. Also provide knowledge about anatomy, diseases, and injuries. We've got ranged combat. Can you shoot the gun or throw the thing? And we have stealth. Sneakity sneak sneak. Pretty self-explanatory. Next is logic. Logic covers investigation, which you can use to search a room, understand what happened at a crime scene, examine a dead body, or find something that's hidden. We've got learning. How much do you already know? When you're having that moment that you're like, does my character know anything about this? I feel like I should. The answer is make a learning roll, and we'll see how much you know. And then finally, vigilance, which is kind of like your perception. Like, that's you. Do you notice that person's sneaking up on you? Do you see this person who's acting weirdly? You can use vigilance to sort of interpret what's happening in a situation around you. And then finally, empathy. Empathy is inspiration, the ability to address a crowd, encourage your friends, influence a group of people. Inspiration is also what is used to help heal mental conditions, whereas medicine heals physical conditions. We've got manipulation, pretty self-explanatory. Get people to do what you want. And as always in role-playing games, manipulation is not mind control. And finally, observation under empathy, which is that's kind of like your insight. That's
okay.
How's this person feeling? What are they thinking about? Like, the bullshit detector observation.
So
there
it's
you
people
go.
observation, not things observation, as it is in
Correct.
Got it.
Correct. Things observation is kind of depending on what you're doing, vigilance. or investigation.
Okay.
Kind of depend. I would say it'll probably depend on the situation, whether it's vigilance or investigation.
Fair.
Vigilance, but yeah. So, well, this is also a new system for me, so we're gonna figure this stuff out together, y'all.
Yeah.
And so, now that we've done a brief overview of the skills, let's talk about building these characters. You guys have all sort of created backstories for yourself already, and it is now time to make a character. So to make a player character,
what I'm going to do before you do that, Sarah, is I'm actually going to I'm going to pull up my sheet just so the chat can. I can't see anyone else's sheet.
Correct.
So I'm just going to, unless actually, well, I guess the question is, do you want me to see?
Some of them have dark secrets on their sheets.
Then
already.
I will not. I will just put up my own sheet, which has literally nothing on it at all.
Cool. Perfect. So I kind of figured we'd like go through these steps all together. Matt can have his sheet up for people to watch it happen.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, we can sort of talk about what we're all doing as we do it. Does that track? I haven't run session 0 before, so I was just like, how are we going to do this thing? So the first thing you're going to do is choose your archetype. The archetype being essentially the class. And the archetypes are, I actually need to pull up the version of this PDF I made for you because there are 2 new archetypes that were introduced in Mythic Ireland and Britain, and I decided to add them in here because they're fun, and I do believe Matt is using one of them.
I am indeed.
Yay! So let me pull up Vaesen for players because I made my players a redacted version that didn't have the mystery in the back, so they wouldn't be tempted to look at it. Those sneaky sneakers. All right, your player character. All right, so our archetypes are the academic, the doctor, the hunter, the occultist, the officer, the priest, the private detective, the servant, the vagabond, the writer, and for some reason, because they wouldn't have bookmarks. And then the athlete, the entertainer, and the socialite. So let's start off with friends. What archetypes did you choose?
I went with the private detective.
Private detective. Nice. So we have a private detective. Let's just keep going in the same order that we went in before. So Ben?
I chose the officer.
Okay, we got a private detective and officer. Arne?
I picked a rider.
Okay, writer. And then Matt?
I chose the athlete.
Excellent. And what kind of athlete did you choose to be?
Well, he's an Irish boxer. So.
Excellent. I'm already having far and away flashbacks, and it's beautiful.
You better believe it.
All right, so easy peasy. That's pretty good. Next up, you'll need to choose an age.
Oh, Lord.
And the ages, let me get to, I probably should have. All right, so essentially, young, middle-aged, or old. And so young, 17 to 25 years, middle-aged, 26 to 50, old, 51 plus. And what this affects, just so you know, is how many points you have to assign to your attributes and to your skills. The younger you are, the more attribute points you will have because your body is still in peak condition, but the fewer skill points you'll have because you're not as experienced. The older you are, you will have fewer attribute points because, as we all know, our bodies betray us as we get older, but you will have more skill points.
Don't know what that's like.
Shush.
Jesus.
But you will have more skill points because you will be you've done more and you've seen more. You're a more skilled individual. So, Jane, how old? Young, middle age. So 17 to 25, 26 to 50, or 51 plus for you.
26 to 50, specifically 32.
32. All right. So that means you have 14 attribute points and 12 skill points. And we'll get to how you do that in a minute. So next up, Ben, age?
I am the exact same age she is.
Ooh, I love it.
Middle-aged.
Party, a 32-year-old. So again, that is 14 attribute and 12 skill for you. Arne?
I'm also middle-aged, 27.
God.
All right. 14 and 12 for you as well. And then Matt, how old are you?
As chat can see, we're all a bunch of middle-aged bastards.
How old are you?
So jaded. I love
I
it.
just wanted to feel young again.
I'm just over the cusp between young and middle-aged. Maybe I think he's is it 28? Yeah.
28. All right. So 14. Okay, so cool. Everybody's working with the same number of attribute and skill points.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That was 12 and 14, right?
It is 14 attribute and 12 skill.
28 is middle, I guess, in the 1800s. You know, like
well, middle. It's middle. It just means you're in the middle of the age range as opposed to being middle aged.
Yeah, that's fair. If I told a 28-year-old they were middle aged, they'd be like, "I'm not 30 yet. What the hell?"
2 seconds, guys. I'm just gonna mute myself real quick.
No problem.
I mean, I got called old once, like 6 years ago.
By whom?
I don't know them anymore.
A 12-year-old? Like, I'd understand
Probably.
it if it was like, you're old, you're 30. I'd get that.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah. As soon as there's any kind of gray or white in your, or loss of hair, you are old.
I mean, I've been graying since I was like 26, so it's getting faster now. But yeah,
It's all right.
Sorry, my husband's trying to find headphones.
Nice.
Okay, if I knew where my Bluetooth kitty cat headphones were right now, I would give them to him. All right, so we are back. So doing
I think Pat stole.
Yeah, he definitely
Pat
did.
stole them. All right, so names. We all have names.
Oh yeah.
Me too.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty,
Ooh.
so Jane,
Ada Larson.
Ada Larson. Ben, give us the whole thing because it's magnificent.
I'll try not to butcher it too bad. Captain Carolus Thorbjorn Par Svinhud the Seventh.
Jesus.
Oh my god,
amazing.
amazing! I love everything
Are
about
any of your
that.
O's like
Seven
with the thing through them?
generations.
Like with the little like the cross through them? Like in Monty Python where they're like, a moose bit my sister once? You know what I
No,
mean?
but I
man.
have an O and an A that have the I think it's called the umlaut, the two dots
Yep,
over
the
the top.
umlaut.
Okay.
Yep, I got a couple of umlauts.
Very good, very good.
Couple of
And Arne, your name,
I will be playing Elsa Nielsen.
Elsa Nielsen. So Ada and Elsa, and Coriolis, and for Matt,
I'm playing Seamus O'Brien.
Seamus O'Brien. I cannot wait to find out what this Irishman is doing in Sweden. It's going to be amazing.
You will indeed.
Does he have a nickname?
His nickname are his initials. So yes.
So, oh my god, get out.
I was hoping I was helping.
Go
with
get in the
names.
carriage.
Yep.
That's what everybody calls him.
Indeed.
All right. So now it is time. You each have 14 points to distribute amongst your attributes. Those attributes being the, I'm just going to open up someone's character sheet. I'll open up Matt so that I'm looking at the same thing he is.
Mm-hmm.
Being physique, precision, logic, and empathy. Now, your minimum is 2. Nothing can have less than 2. And the maximum is 4, except for whatever the main attribute of your chosen archetype is. That main attribute can be a 5. So this is, again, similar to Alien.
And
I forgot
remind
what
me
it is for private
the number
detectives.
of points to spend in attributes.
14 is what you each have to spend in attributes.
Okay. And they can go up to 5, but be no less than 2.
Only whatever the so each class archetype has got an attribute that is listed as its key attribute. So I'm just going to go to the first, or where is it? So I'm going to look at the academic. Main attribute for the academic is logic. So that means if you're an academic, your logic can be a 5. Everything else is between 2 and 4. But you can't have less than 2. So essentially, you've all started out by using 8. And you have 6 left to distribute as you see fit. So since Matt, we're going to go out of order here. Since you have your sheet up,
I do.
you are an athlete, which means that your
Main attribute is physique, according to the book.
Is physique. So you can make your physique up to a 5, should you so choose.
I am definitely going to do so. That is giving me 3 points off of my 14, so down to 11.
And you've technically used 8 for those base.
Oh, that's
2s
true.
and
That's true.
everything.
That's true. That's true.
So you had 6 left, and you've used 3. So you have 3 more points to distribute here between precision, logic, and empathy.
Well, I'm gonna say 1 in precision, bringing me up to 3. Actually, 2 in precision, bringing me up to a 3, because he's quite precise with his strikes.
Oh, so you're going to be a 4. Okay.
Yes, bringing up to a 4. 1, 2. And then I got 1 more point to spend.
Logic or empathy? What do we think?
Oh, jeez. No, definitely not logic.
Brains.
Empathy.
I was like, brains or heart? Brains or heart, man.
Hell no. He
right.
fights with his heart.
All right, so that brings Seamus to a physique of 5, a logic or precision of 4, a logic of 2, and an empathy of 3. I'm just going to go now in the order they're on here. Let's take a look at Elsa. Elsa, how do you want to distribute your 14 points?
So my main attribute is empathy. So I put 5 on that one. I'm taking 4 for logic, 3 for precision, and 2 for physique.
Very good. We seem to be going with like a similar spread on everybody here. Oh my god, my mouse is being insane. There we go, it stopped. All right, Ada, what about you?
Well, make sure I'm not muted. Am I muted?
Nope, you're not. We can
Okay.
hear you.
Okay, good. Because of traffic, I will be muting myself and unmuting myself a lot.
No problem.
So my main attribute is logic, so I've got 5 in that, and I was thinking of putting a minimum of 1 point into everything else.
You can absolutely do that. That would take all of your points. So you can be a 5 and then 3.
Yeah, because, I know what occupation I want her to be, so, and it makes sense
Cool.
to do that.
So right now it looks like your physique is at a 2, so you can bump that up to a 3 also.
Yep, and I did.
All right, beautiful. And then finally, we've got Ben. I'm going to say, let's just put Cat. Do you have access to your character sheet? Did I give that to you?
No, you did
Oh,
not.
I didn't. Aha, that explains it. There you go. You should now have access to your character sheet.
All right. It is blank.
Yeah,
Like,
because...
There it goes. There it goes. It was loading. It's just
Oh,
like
God, I
white.
was doing that thing where you're like, there's nothing
Oh my
there.
god. that
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Okay. And now I need to expand it.
Super weird.
There we go.
Yeah,
All right.
there you go.
Let's see.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you your base 2s and everything.
Okay.
Alrighty. So what would you like to do here? So you are an officer. What does that make your primary?
Precision.
Okay, so that can be a 5 if you want to.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go for the
Taking
5
the
on
5.
that. He's
Yeah.
quite the shooter. And then I think I'm just gonna go 3 on everything else because
You're going to follow in Jane's footsteps. All right, I dig it.
I am. I like to spread them out a little bit.
Beautiful. Easy breezy. I love it. All right. So that's those. Now we move on to assigning your skill points, of which you all have 12. And there is no limitation, I believe, on how those are shared. I'm going to double check that, but yeah. Sorry. At the start of the game, you cannot have more than 2 in any skill except for the main skill of your chosen type, which can be a 3.
So skills are at the bottom, right?
Yes, skills are at the bottom of the sheet. So once again, using the academic as an example, her main skill is learning. So whatever your main skill is, you can make that a 3, which I assume you're all going to do.
Done.
All right. And then once you do that, so you made your main skill is close combat. So you made that a 3.
Yep.
And out of 12, that means you have 9 points to distribute between the rest of your character.
Got it. Okay. 9.
And everybody else, feel free to work ahead and have them ready when I come to you. You don't have to do it as I call your name. I'm just putting Matt on the spot because everyone can see his sheet.
Exactly. I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm gonna say I'm gonna put 2 in agility. I'm going to put 1 in stealth.
Okay. For those sneaky uppercuts.
Yep. I'm gonna put 1 in medicine because he's always gotta, collect and repair himself physically after every bout. And then I'm gonna put 1, strange as it, even though I don't have a whole lot in logic, I'm gonna put 1 in vigilance because he's got to look.
I think that
those kinds
that
of
tracks.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That's
8.
8. I need
You've used
1
8,
more.
so you have 1 more. Oh wait, no, sorry, you have a total of 12. 2,
so
3, that's 5, 6, 7. You've used 8. You
So
have
I
4
more. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I think then I'm going to pump up a couple more things. I'm going to pump up medicine to 2. I'm going to pump up stealth to 2. I'm going to pump up vigilance to 2.
Okay.
And then I have 1
Now
more.
you have 1 more. You haven't done anything with any of your empathy skills.
I know. I'm sort of relying on... Remind me, inspiration, that's sort of like the ability to inspire others, yeah?
Yes, it's inspiration is twofold. It's like, to like inspire a bunch of get a bunch of people to help you. It can be like persuasion in that sense. It's also the skill that is used to help your companions heal mental conditions.
Is there any kind? Does that include like intimidation of potential foes, or is that more manipulation?
I don't know, because that also, depending on how you're doing it, it could even be force if you're doing it with your physical presence.
Oh shit! I didn't think about that. Well, that changes things quite a bit. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put. I'm gonna take 1 out of stealth and put 2 into force.
Nice. So this is you're just our bruiser.
Fuck
You're
yeah.
our big scary bruiser.
That's
love
exactly
that.
what he
amazing.
is. He's all about.
This is great.
Yeah. 2, 3,
Great.
2. That's 7. Plus 2 is 9. Plus 1 is 10. Plus 2 is, and vigilance is 12. So there you go. 12.
Yep. There you go. All right. So whose sheet do I open up next? I've got Elsa's sheet. So
yeah, my main thing is empathy. So I got 3 in inspiration. I put 2 in observation since she's a newspaper writer.
what? Oh my god, my mouse is being insane right now. Sorry, continue. I'm just trying to get to your sheet, and it keeps making it smaller instead of bigger.
And I put 2 on investigation, 1 in learning, and then 2 in stealth for getting those good news stories. 1 in medicine.
Nice.
And then I wanted to do something in physique, so I picked force. I think she can maybe use some brute force, but it's not really agile or skilled in close combat, so that made sense for me.
Okay. I like that. That's very cool. All right. So then next up we got I'm just gonna pop these out so I can actually see them. Let's go with Ada.
Hi. So for mine, I put 1 into agility, 1 into close combat. I put 1 into ranged combat. My main skill is investigation, so there's 3 into that, 2 in learning, and 1 in vigilance. And then I put 2
Nice.
into observation.
All right, so we have found our brains here. Love it. And then we got Ironhead. Ben, what's cooking over here?
All right, so
I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I put 1 in agility,
Okay.
2 in close combat, and then 3 in ranged combat because that's my
That's
main.
yours.
Yeah, and then 1 in investigation, 1 in learning, 1 in vigilance, and then I think I read in there that you can also use those points to up your resources.
Ah, yes, that is a very true point that I should have mentioned. So if any of you want to take points away to do this, you absolutely can. Right now I only see 2 in your range, so you can go ahead and bump that up to 3.
Hold on, let me go back down. Maybe because my cursor's still on it. How about now?
Let me open it back up. Yep, now it's a 3. Yes.
Okay.
So so each of your character has a degree of resources. Once again, tracking money, not part of how this game works. So instead, each of you has a level of resource available to you. Basically indicates how much capital you have at your disposal at any given point in time. So each of your character sheets has a resources range listed on it. You automatically start at whatever the lowest range of resources is. However, you can bump up your resources using points instead of assigning them to your skills. Your resources can only be increased during character creation or through various upgrades that happen throughout the game, upgrades you can make to your house, which we'll talk about later. So if you want to have higher than your starting resources, now is the time to make that happen. And resources will affect both the kinds of things that you can purchase / find throughout the world during your missions. It also affects the kind of supplies you can take with you during the preparation phase.
Okay, so my base is a 3,
Mm-hmm.
and my This is a 7, but I would like to bump that up to 6.
Okay, so you want to have some money.
Yes.
And just let me find where is the resources chart. Let me find it. So I can explain what these things mean.
With weapons and equipment, I think. Yes.
I'm not like stupid wealthy,
There
but
we go.
I'm very well off.
Well, those are the modifiers. I'm looking for the thing that actually explains. It might be. Oh my goodness. I can't find this. Let me look. Let me try the bookmarks. Maybe that'll help. Bookmarks, come to me.
Trying to remember where I found it.
Resources. There we go. Okay, I found it. For those of you playing along, it is on page 22 of the book. So, level 6 is well off. You have a big house or apartment. You probably have multiple sources of income and several employees. You do not think of money as a scarce resource, but as a game to increase your capital and influence. You keep fine company and have little contact with the poor. Your family can go on vacations and you can afford all the latest innovations.
Peasants.
Love this. So that's actually a good point. What is everyone else's resources score?
Mine is 2. I'm poor.
I have 1.
You are poor.
I'm
Yo,
I'm super
Seamus is
poor.
super. Okay, so come back. That was not the PDF I wanted. 2 different PDFs open. Okay, stop it. That one. You're not opening the right PDF. Killing me, Smalls.
Resources are based on what specifically?
It's in your class. In your class,
Yeah.
it gives you a range. So the athlete is
I beg
2.
your pardon. It actually it
so
says 2 to 4
so
is my rule.
So you have 2, unless you want to sacrifice points out of any of your skills to up your resources.
Got it. No, I'll keep it at 2. He's not a wealthy guy.
So 2 is poor. You live very simply. Most days there is food on the table, but far too little. If you have children, they are forced to live in squalor. You might own a change of clothes and a few possessions. Loss of income would be disastrous for you and your family.
You know what I'm going to do? First of all, actually, I just read my character sheet a little bit closer in the book, and it actually says that boxing's main skill is not close combat, although I thought it would be. It's actually force. So I'm going to switch things around just a smidge. I'm going to take close combat down to 2, and I'm going to put force up to 3.
I'm going to take down my stealth, and I'm going to put 1 extra point in resources.
So you are now at 3?
I'm now struggling.
Which is struggling. You have a humble home and a fixed income. You have no money for savings, but you can dress your family for special occasions, and your children have some access to education, at least for a few years, if you have kids. And finally, Jane, what are your resources?
Mine are at 2.
You're also at 2, so you're at poor.
Yeah.
You live very simply. Most days there's food on the table, etc.
Yeah. There was something about later on about on a chart for different occupations that you could have.
Let me. Are you talking about it's in the private detective page?
Not on the private detective page. There's. I'm so sorry.
Looking at the private detective page, and
no, it's not on the private detective page. It's past the archetypes. It's
after skills. Is it about after skills? After I went to talent, conflict, and injury.
Talking about the talents, the private detective's talents.
No.
Okay.
No. She's talking about something about having professions.
Yeah, like there's occupations that you can choose. I think it's past combat.
I have scrolled very far and I am not finding
contacts. Maybe that's what I see is contacts. I don't see.
I'm not
else. Equipment, shopping.
Maybe background tables.
I don't know if it was.
Oh, I see. Profession. There we go.
Yeah.
But that's the oppression. That's the profession for your background. So that's actually on page 2. Where is it here? 120. It's on page 120 of the thing that you gave us, Sarah. So what you would do is...
Oh, wait, I'm in the wrong Vaesen.
That's if you are rolling a player character. That's like the cheat sheet for rolling a player character. That's an
Oh, okay.
alternative method for.
Is then you
creating
look and then it says
characters.
C table, and then it gives you the whatchamacallit,
The class. Yeah.
the class, the archetype that you would use. But I know that you want to be a cop, so if you want to be a cop, that is totally fine. Like, I'm
Okay.
fine with that. You can like that's your day job. You're using the private detective archetype, but in your story you're a cop. That's 100% cool with me.
I love that, actually.
Okay.
That's really
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
that's really fun. All right. So having done that, now I have to get back to where I was with the character creation.
So we've gone through our skills, we've gone through our attributes, we had gone through our resources.
Yes, and now it is time to choose a talent. So you each get to choose a talent for starting. You get to choose one of the talents that is listed under your archetype. So if you go to the talents section of the book I gave you, each archetype has 3 talents available to them. You are able to secure more talents down the line by spending experience points, which are gained much in the same way as they are in Alien, by answering questions at the end about what you did in the session. So let's start. I'm just going to do this alphabetically by who I come up on first. So the first is the officer. Do you know what talent you would like to take, Ben?
Yes, I was looking at tactician.
Tactician. When you pass a ranged combat test during combat and get extra successes, you may, in addition to the usual alternatives, issue an order to a friend. Doing so costs 1 success. If she follows your order, she grants +2 to her next test, can be chosen multiple times to give orders to different people. Nice. I like that. All right.
We get 3 talents, yeah? And it actually says the talents that you should choose, right, in the actual...
You choose, like, it gives you, there's a list of 3. Those are the ones that are specifically
Mhm.
assigned to you. You're picking one of them right now.
Oh, we're picking 1. Okay, got it.
You're picking one of the 3 that fall under your class. So, all right, next one alphabetically that I came to is private detective. I realized I probably didn't put fighter talents in here, so I'll have to pull those out of the other book.
That's
you.
okay, I've got them.
Oh, you've got them. You've got Mythic
Mhm.
Ireland and Britain. All right,
Yeah.
sweet. All right, so private detective talents.
Yeah,
Do you know which one?
Yeah, I went with Eagle Eye.
Eagle Eye, you gain +2 to vigilance when trying to interpret a situation you are not involved in. So when you're the fly on the wall, you get a +2 to figure out what's going on. I dig very much.
Yep.
All right, writer, you've got some interesting choices here.
I was tempted by automatic writing, but I think I'm
It's
gonna go
pretty
for
cool.
journalist.
Okay. For journalists, you
Oh,
may use
jeez, I'm so
inspiration
sorry.
instead of manipulation when charming or deceiving someone to gain information. Dig. That could be useful. I like. All right, and Matt, I don't have the sheet with the athlete up in front of me, so tell us what your talent is.
I was sort of trying to determine whether I should pick the pugilist talent, which does specifically like good stuff for when you're beating the crap out of people, or something called robust. Pugilist basically does 1 extra damage when you're fighting unarmed. I mean, it's not like the guy would actually do anything about that, but I think robust. I'm trying to find robust because that sounds like something he would. Yeah, you may ignore penalties for physical conditions on 1 roll per gaming session.
Ooh, that could definitely come in handy.
Considering how much damage he would probably be taking physical, I think that might actually be something would be, from a mechanical perspective, probably worthwhile. So I'm going to choose.
And those are all his top skills too. So yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and choose robust. So I'm going to put that under talent. And
I like it.
Copy and paste from the actual book
All right, excellent. So we've done that, and now we're getting close. Okay. Choose a motivation. Your motivation explains why you are willing to risk your own life to track down and fight Vaesen. It helps you play your character. Pick one of those suggested for your archetype, or come up with one yourself. So just example, with the academic, potential motivations are charting the unknown, proving my critics wrong, or becoming famous. So let's start once again with Matt. Matt, what is Seamus's motivation?
Yeah, I like this one. This one is avenging a past defeat. I think
Ooh.
that what occurred was Seamus, we can go into his backstory a little bit later, but essentially at one point in his career, he was fighting against a guy who he assumed was human, but found out later, after certain things occurred, found out was not. And he believes truly that he was beaten within an inch of his life because he faced off against this particular person. And he wants to find him and avenge himself against him.
Nice. I love this. This is very fun. All right. And now we have who's next, going back and trying to picture it in my head. Arne, what is Elsa's motivation?
Elsa is trying to find the Vaesen that took her baby brother when she was young.
Okay. That's pretty solid right there. All right. And Coriolis.
You like that?
I mean, it's such an inside joke. It's fine.
There we go. Someone close to him has come up with an ailment, and he believes it has something to do with Vaesen, so he's trying to find a cure for that.
Okay, very good. And finally, Ada.
Well, her entire motivation is to uncover the truth. There was something that happened to her, and it also leads into her trauma.
Okay. Well, we're going
So-
to do those in a second. So if since you're going last, if you want to give
Sure.
us, because the next is your trauma, and those are
Yeah.
not secret. So
Okay, so I might as well. She at some point was waking up constantly with nightmares and breathless, and it was always some sort of creature, some sort of supernatural thing that was happening. And she wants to find out the meaning of those dreams. She wants to find out what the Vaesen are trying to tell her.
okay, and that was also the trauma that led to her having the sight.
Yep.
Okay, but she never saw anything causing this happening to her.
Not the cause of it. There was other Vaesen that would be involved, like other really scary creatures that were there, but nothing that would indicate to her at the time what was causing it. So
All right, very cool. And we'll cycle back in the opposite direction. Ada's trauma was not Ada, sorry, Elsa's trauma.
Well, the trauma is that her brother got stolen by a Vaesen while they were playing in the backyard.
Okay. So she just she saw a figure that clearly wasn't human take her brother.
Yeah, like a shadowy figure, maybe.
Okay.
She doesn't
And-
really know what it is. That's her whole motivation.
Her whole motivation is to figure out what took her brother. All right. And Coriolis.
He was involved in a battle where the dead began standing up and attacking again. So he's got a little PTSD from that.
Mm-hmm. All right. And finally, Seamus.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like this. He lost a fairy bet, so he was ensconced with a whole bunch of different types of prize fights. Not one to ever back down. He took the bet of someone who he didn't know at the time was Fae. And at that point in time, that's when the fated fight between him and this other Vaesen occurred, which was pretty much rigged, essentially, except against him. And
Seamus got tricked by a fairy.
classic fairy trickery. Those tricksy tricks.
Love it.
And next thing you know, he lost.
Amazing. And now the thing that you're all going to do on your own and not tell each other is choose a dark secret, and you can actually close your character sheet, Matt, if you don't want chat to see your dark secret.
I'm definitely going to do that.
All right, so choose a dark secret, which I will be able to see on your character sheets, but they will probably at some point come into play. But for now, it's just a dark secret. And once again, example, I'll pick the one from the academic. Example, dark secrets: addicted to drugs, stole or falsified documents to get research results, or is being hunted by a Vaesen.
Done.
All right, now number 10 is choose. I'm just gonna talk through this while you guys put those down, since I assume you all know what they are already. The next one is choose your relationship with each of the other PCs. However, we are going to role play you guys meeting, so I am going to say hold off on that for now. We'll cycle back to it before you head out on the mystery. So that will probably be a little bit later this session, but I want to let you guys role play with each other for a bit in character, and then you can choose what your relationship with each of the PCs is. And once again, it's things like a tool, again, going with the academic, a tool for my purposes. I cannot stay calm in your presence. A good friend. So things that make for interesting storytelling and fun roleplay. However, both parties must agree. You can't be like, my relationship is I secretly hate you and I want you to die. It's like, no, because that's going to stymie roleplay, and I'm pretty sure, like, I'm actually trying to kill you. And the other person's going to be like, yeah, no, I don't approve of this because I don't want to be hunted by a PC during this game. So we're gonna skip that one for now. Ooh, this is a fun one. I gotta get to the chart. We all need to roll for your memento. So everybody give me a good old 2d6 roll, please.
6.
No, it's 33. 33, 46, 53, and 65. Okay, so Matt
it's one of those 2d6 rolls.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a D66 roll.
D66.
Yeah, so Matt with a 33, your memento is a journal, yours or someone else's.
Okay.
All right, and then we have... Can you guys read your numbers to me so I don't have to keep flipping back and forth?
46.
65. Sorry.
All right, so 46. A sunstone, which is a cut mineral. So you have a gem. A semi-precious gem, I would say. All right, Matt, Ben, what was yours?
65.
65.
53.
Yeah, you had 53.
Oh no,
Ben.
I apologize. You're right. 53.
Ben is 53. This is perfect. It is a pocket watch with a photo inside.
Oh.
I feel like that tracks so well with what you have already put forth. It's amazing.
Yes.
And then 65 for Jane. Worn dice made of bone.
Oh, okay. That works.
So, yes. So those are your mementos. Which, if I recall correctly, you can use them to heal conditions, similarly as you could with your signature item in Alien. If your memento is part of your character, feel free to weave it into your personality or background. It can be broken or lost during a mystery, but by spending 1 experience point, you can have it returned or repaired in time for the next mystery. You may also choose a new one, but in that case, you must first play a full mystery without a memento.
Cool.
So guard your mementos carefully, my dears. And then finally, choose equipment. So at the end of your character, it'll list the equipment that you will have to start with. For example, and some of them are ors. So if there's an or, you need to pick which one you want. So for example, the academic, book collection or map book, writing utensils, and liquor or a slide rule. So take a look at your equipment, decide what you want. I am going to pee really fast while you do that, and I'll be right back.
Oh, right. Where is there like an equipment table someplace? I know it's probably somewhere.
There is, yeah. It's a little weird though.
It's a little weird.
Yeah,
Well-
because you have to because there's conflict and
You're
intrigue,
not-
so it goes
you're-
through that
you're-
first, and then
Well, you're not using the equipment table. You're using whatever is at the end of your archetype.
Yeah, it says at the end of it says athletic apparel and equipment for sport of choice. So
Okay, so like boxing gloves.
yeah, like boxing gloves.
You can just say you have them.
Fine.
I'm not gonna. If they're not on the chart, I'm not gonna be like you can't.
Just checking.
So Matt, pick some athletic equipment that makes sense for you to have, and that's what you.
Yep.
I'm fine with that.
Yep. Boxing gloves.
And tiny shorts. You're welcome.
Actually, they didn't have tiny shorts in the 1800s.
I know.
They didn't wear those, but they definitely wore boxing shoes, which are more like
Oh,
boots,
okay.
actually.
Yes,
Do
they
those
are.
tiny shorts give you armor?
Oh no! If you want to wear armor in this game, it's like I stole a suit of armor from the museum. Clunk, 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 clunk. Yes, equipment that is not part of your starting equipment is something that can be gathered during preparation stages of a mystery, and we will get to that when it is time to
I'm
prepare.
actually going to listen to.
So, I'm just looking at your sheets while you do this. Nice.
I didn't really have much to do with mine.
I mean, it's very limited equipment. This is not like you're not going to wind up with like a D&D list of equipment. Also, it's important to note, I'll actually say this while you guys are doing this on your sheets, that so when you are in the preparation stage, you have received your mystery, you're at headquarters or in town, getting ready to head out to wherever this thing is happening. That is when you will gather up equipment that you think you will need. You also might find equipment while you're out and about, like depending on where you are and what you're doing. However, at the end of the mystery, it all goes away. It's done, it's over. And at the beginning of the next mystery, so you can't be like, oh, I like, unless like it's like something that was part of your starting equipment. Like if your character starts with a weapon, then you always have that weapon. But if you're like, oh, we're going to be out in the woods, I think that we need a hunting dog. You don't buy that dog and have it forever. You have that dog for the duration of the mystery. Like you went to, your local gamekeeper and was like, hey, dude, I need a dog for a week. And you take the dog and then you bring it back when it's over. And there are upgrades you can make to your house that allow you to store more stuff. I think you get to keep like one thing per mystery. But other than that, it all goes away. So you're not going to end up with like a giant, like Zeke in Mad Mage inventory that, weighs
No
like
bag of
5,000
holding.
pounds. No bags of holding.
No chimera jerky.
Oh man.
No, I forgot about the Chimera jerky.
Yeah.
That's what happens, folks, if you-
Chimera.
Let your players just freeze dry the monsters that you
Yeah.
kill. Make it
Hey,
any food
man.
that they
We
use
were
for
going to be down there for a
Delicious in
long
the
time. I
dungeon.
needed food.
No, absolutely.
All right.
It's like delicious in dungeon.
Ben, do you have anything other than a compass? Because that's all I see right now.
Yes. You'd have to go down to weapons. I get a rifle and a saber.
And a saber. Okay, cool.
What's a knuckle duster? I feel like I should know this, but is it just like brass knuckles?
Yeah, brass knuckles.
Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think he would definitely have that.
Mm-hmm.
All
Maybe
right,
if
so
they were enchanted, he would have won.
all right, so you have a compass, a rifle, and a saber. Ada has a magnifying glass, a revolver, and binoculars. Seamus has boxing gloves, boxing shoes,
And then
and
And
some
two more
stuff that I'm not
special.
going to tell you, and a knuckle duster. I'll allow it.
thank you.
And Elsa has writing utensils, a camera, and a book collection. Nice. All right, that's it, guys. You all have characters.
Question
So-
before we start. Apologies. I just wanted to make
Oh,
sure.
yeah, go ahead.
Because where it says weapon, let's assume that we've purchased a weapon, right? We can add them to our character sheets under the weapon section, for example.
Yes.
And where I see under equipment, it actually gives me the damage, the range, the bonus, and the skill. In this case, close combat. But if I go
Yes.
to the attribute, it shows me either unarmed, melee, or ranged. Should I assume that it's melee that I use for the attribute for Knuckle Duster? Or should I say
That-
unarmed?
That's an interesting question. Did you get the knuckle duster off the equipment list, and does the equipment list tell you which skill to use?
It does. It says close combat.
Oh, okay, I got you. Then I would say that's melee.
Okay.
Because you're not unarmed. You've got a knuckle duster.
That
It's a
makes
weapon.
sense. That makes sense. So then just like kicking and punching would be unarmed, yeah?
Yes, kicking and punching would be unarmed. So if you want to add kick and punch to weapons so that you can roll them, feel free to do
that's
so.
what I'm going to do. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we've got our characters created. Now here's the question. And I'm going to put this to you as players. Do you want to give your backstories to stream now and then play meeting each other? Or would you rather just play and let them come out?
That's a good
I'd
question.
prefer to play.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would actually work out. I agree with Jane.
Okay. That's 2 votes. Ben's not
Yeah.
here, but Arne, if Arne's in
Wait.
agreement, then
Yeah.
Ben's vote doesn't count. So and there he is. All right. So we have created characters, and I read to you that bit from the beginning that says that each of you, okay, this is something I will have you tell us before we start. Each of you has encountered a woman named Linnea Elphicant, who is a former member of the society. She now resides in a dirty apartment in Uppsala, but spends most of her time at the asylum. She is, actually, I'm going to pull up her description from the book because I really enjoy it. Let me find her. There she is. All right. So, Linnea Elphicant is a former member of the society who chose to leave the organization. She is renting a room in a simple apartment in central Uppsala, but spends most of her time at the city's mental asylum. Linnea refuses to visit the castle, which you guys haven't been to yet. You meet at the asylum or at an inn called the Burger and Baker. Linnea is dirty and confused. She often forgets your names and who you are. Her knowledge about the society comes in short bursts as she gradually recalls things she would rather forget. What she says is often contradictory. When asked to describe her expeditions or encounters with Vaesen in greater detail, she will turn silent, and shortly afterwards, you are informed that she has been readmitted to the asylum. Linnea's reasons for helping you rebuild the society are so far unknown. So each of you has encountered this woman who has told you that the society exists. The society was an organization dedicated to the study of Vaesen and of protecting people from them when necessary. The information that she has given to you is that it was once called the Order of Artemis, that there was a fire in a place called Olau about 10 years ago, longer ago. There was a fire in which a large number of society members from around Scandinavia died, and that everything kind of went downhill after that. She also tells you about the titles that were traditionally given to members in the society. And that is that priest and ritual master was the chaplain. Whoever was in charge of equipment was the armorer. Whoever was in charge of security was the guardian. Whoever was in charge of money and other resources was the treasurer. Whoever was in charge with contact with the outside world, like, maybe getting information without revealing why, was the shadow maker. Whoever was in charge of headquarters was the castle master. Whoever was in charge of the library and information gathering was the librarian. And whoever was in charge of physical training and medicine was the custodian. Now, whether you choose to reinstate these titles and responsibilities or not, it's entirely up to you, but that's information she gives you. She also, at one point, her eyes sort of fluttering half closed as she gets lost in a memory, remembers the society's creed as she tells you that before every mission, they would be blessed by a priest in the chapel and then descend into the temple of Artemis and recite the creed. I solemnly swear not to be corrupted, bloodied, or weakened by the spawn of the underworld. I swear not to let my mind be muddled, clear of eye, keen of thought, pure of deed. I swear to put the society before my own ambitions and emotions, my life for my comrades. I pledge my life to you, holy Artemis, for the battle against Vaesen and the protection of mankind. So what I would like to know is how each of you found Linnea, or how she found you. What brought you to the society to decide to bring this derelict organization back? And whoever has an idea can go first.
Well,
And if you are completely stumped, I will throw you a bone.
well, Elsa works for the Uppsala Gazette as a journalist to make ends meet, and I figure she probably heard about this woman and started to look into it, maybe for an article, maybe for something else she's working on. And when she heard that there was a society that was studying and fighting these Vaesen, she obviously wanted to get in on that. So she started investigating that, leading her probably to the castle.
Well, it would have led you to Linnea, because right now the society doesn't exist. You guys are the ones who are about to restart it.
Oh, okay.
And so it
Yeah.
led you to her, and she
asylum,
told you
yeah.
the history. Very good. And I think that since you were the first one to come up with your answer, she, when you meet her and she gives you all the information that I've given you, she gives you the deed and the keys. And as you leave the asylum garden where you have had this conversation, or actually before you do you have any questions to ask her?
No, not really. No, I think she's way too driven for that.
All right, then, as you leave with deed and keys in hand, you just hear a quavering voice from behind you say, "Good luck, my dear. You're certainly going to need it." So who finds Linnea next?
I would think that probably my research into my I don't know the person that's close to me with the ailment.
Your person's ailment.
Yeah, my person. There we go. My person's ailment, and the incident that happened on the battlefield. I think probably I would have done some research and maybe found about this old keep.
Or
And
can I say,
yes.
I'm gonna throw you a bone. Maybe you had an episode of PTSD and sought treatment at the asylum and met her there.
There we go. I like that better. That's better. So yes.
She sought you out in the garden one afternoon. Just sort of, you're sitting in the garden and she comes and seats herself beside you and says, "Those eyes look like they've seen things."
They have, but probably not things you would be interested in.
"Oh, I don't know about that, my dear. I'm interested in all sorts of things." And she sort of like, her hand kind of drifts over to where you see what appears to be a tiny man with a hooked nose and a red hat weeding the garden. When I say tiny, he's about this big, and you know that this is a niece. And most people can't see them.
So I'm not the only one seeing things. You see him too.
Oh, my dear, I too was born on a Thursday.
So what is it?
Oh, that's a niece. He doesn't like me much, but I decided to call him Albrecht.
It's a fitting name.
He weeds the garden and I watch. Well, he's one of the good ones.
So
And
I'm
we'll say
assuming
from...
that.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, from there, we can assume this conversation devolves into her giving you the information and saying, and she's like, you are by far not the only one. There's a young lady, in fact, headed to the castle. I've given her the keys. You should go and find her. You could probably help each other.
That sounds like something I should do. I think maybe I will check myself out and find your castle.
I'm not saying you're not crazy, but you might be. All right. And who's next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I would imagine that Etta would be doing some volunteer work or just would be there for her usual business. Might have actually been the one to help. I'm gonna fuck up saying your name. Collier
Captain Coriolis.
Yeah, Captain Carolus to the asylum to help him out.
Oh, maybe he had like a public episode.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Flipping tables over in the bar.
And then had to calm you down. Somebody called me over. And it would be unusual for you to run into somebody of especially a woman of her stature. She's 6 foot, 210 pounds, looks very
Nice.
solid. So she immediately would have calmed you down, brought you in, peacefully and that sort of thing. Probably talked with you a little bit. So might have been in to check on you the next day.
And when you come in to check, the nurse informs you that, or like whoever you speak to an orderly, and they say, "Oh, last I saw him, last time I saw him, he was out in the garden talking with Linnea."
Oh, okay. Well, then I will go and check on him and see how he's doing and see if Linnea has any new stories to tell.
Well, I would say that he's probably, I don't know. Actually, no, I'm gonna let him decide. Have you left already, or are you still there when Ada shows up?
I would think he probably checked himself out.
Okay, so this is like you ships passing in the night at each other. But I
Yep.
love that we already have this little backstory established.
I like
This is
that.
great. And so you find Linnea sitting on a bench. She's like, hello.
Hello, Linnaeus. And how are
Can
you
I-
doing today?
Oh, some days are better than others, but today seems to be good. So
Oh.
far. It's early.
It is for some. But have you talked to anybody today or
Oh, well, Albrecht ignored me as usual, but I did just speak to the most lovely young man. Well, I don't know if he's actually young, but when you're my age, everyone is young, yes?
handsome looking has seems like he's seen some things.
Oh, haven't we all seen things, my dear?
Some of us more than others and probably too much still.
Oh, well, that's a shame. Tell me, what do you see, young one?
Would you like me to be honest?
What's the harm in being honest to a crazy old woman?
Well, I do see the small figure tending to the garden.
Oh, that's Albrecht. He's a grumpy old puss, but he's so good with the roses.
Did he tell you his name or did you name him?
Oh, no, he doesn't speak to me, but I like to call him Albrecht. He reminds me of my late husband. He didn't
Ah.
speak to me much either.
Well, I do want to check up on him. If he was well enough to leave, then maybe not. It may not be necessary, but I like to be thorough. Do you know which way he went?
Oh, I do believe he's on his way to the castle. I'm sure you could catch up with him.
Ah, that castle. Right.
Gillenkreutz over on the Forest River. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah. I haven't been out there often, but I like to avoid it when I can.
It is a bit of a mess. It used to be such a lovely place when I was there.
I have no doubt. I'll bid you a good day.
And you too, my dear. I love this. She doesn't tell you anything. She just
Oh.
she just tells you to go to the castle. This is
Yeah.
great. Love it. All right. And young Master Seamus, how do you find Linnea?
Okay. So, understanding a little bit about Seamus is kind of important. Seamus comes from County Kilkenny, in essentially the middle of Ireland. It's between Dublin and the sort of middle south of Ireland. It's just in the middle of nowhere, essentially. The biggest city near it is obviously it's Dublin. But Seamus has made his living essentially in just being the best possible bare knuckle fighter that anybody's ever seen. He started at a much younger age than anyone else. And now that he's what would probably be considered a little bit long in the tooth when it comes to this kind of stuff, he's been doing this for a while. He's been doing this for almost all his adult life. He hasn't really seen any other reason to stop. No matter how beat up he gets, he just keeps going and going and going. But after that situation in Dublin where he lost that fight, not on his own merits, but having been tricked, he has made it his goal to try to find this ne'er-do-well and whoever this fairy was and serve them up with a fistful of justice, which has taken him across the small English Channel, or at least the part of the English Channel, which brings him from Ireland to England, traipsing through Liverpool, down to London, searching, always asking questions, getting into bar brawls, etc. Going all over southern England, finally coming back, going even further east to the continent, through Belgium, Bruges, Antwerp, into Germany, and then north into Denmark, and then finally into Sweden, where he's made it as far as Uppsala. Uppsala.
I was saying Uppsala, but Arne said Uppsala, so maybe that's what it is.
You tell me, Arne.
Sorry.
Is it,
I'm not familiar with.
You're not.
I think it's it's Uppsala.
Uppsala.
But
Okay. Yeah,
Works for me.
Yeah, which is just about like it's a little bit north of Stockholm. It's not a very big town from his recollection. Certainly not as big as Stockholm, that's for sure. But he seems to now finally be focusing in on whoever or whatever this entity was that caused him so much pain in the last 3 years of his life. And by now he's lost almost all the money that he earned prize fighting, just traveling and getting himself in trouble, being thrown in jail, finding himself begging on street corners and parts of his life, jumping on and basically being living a hobo life essentially, just to get further toward his target, his goal. And so he's arrived in Uppsala completely unknowing of who he's going to meet or where. I think that he probably picks up a stray newspaper, maybe one that Elsa's written a scathing but accurate catalog of whatever the day's sports, events were, since he's so focused on it. Sort of says, okay, I see that. I'm gonna focus in on whoever this person Elsa is and find her, because could very well be that maybe she knows what's going on in this town. I don't know exactly what the relationships would be to Carolus and to Ada specifically, because he doesn't know them. He's not from.
Well, you're
this
good.
place.
You're going to meet them, is what's coming right now.
Got
I
it.
want to know how you. I want to know how you found Linnea, who's going to tell you about the society and send you to the castle.
Yeah, I mean, wherever Linnea hangs out, I think is probably where he would find himself.
Oh,
Probably
you
a
know what?
bar, I would think.
She does. If not at the Asylum Garden, she is at the Burger and Baker.
Perfect. The Burger and Baker. That is totally his jam. That is
All
exactly
right.
where he would find himself.
I need to look something up because I have an idea, but I need to remember what these guys are called.
I'm still going to call it the Burgermeister.
The
The
Burgermeister?
Burgermeister.
That's a different campaign altogether.
So the Burgermeister, Meister, Baker.
Why not his character from Snatch? Brad Pitt's character? I mean,
I want to hear you talk like that.
Yeah, you'll need
Wait.
the subtitles. Like, you won't
Oh,
be
yeah.
able to understand
Yeah.
anything.
Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on. Was
All
it
right.
his character from Snatch?
It was his character from Snatch.
Yes,
You
his
couldn't
character from
understand.
Snatch is
Okay. I
the
thought it
is
was
the boxer.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
No, it's
Lock,
Snatch.
yeah, no, he wasn't in Lock, Stock, and Two
I get
Smoking
those two confused a lot.
Okay, so you find yourself having a beer in the Burger and Baker when you catch a movement out of the corner of your eye and you notice this small, almost toad-like creature, but wearing a tattered waistcoat and top hat. Its skin is green and mottled, and it's got sort of a wide frog-like mouth. Toddling across the top of the bar, sort of snatching little bits of food off of people's plates and like stacking it in its arms as it just waddles down the bar. And you actually haven't seen one of these before. You're a bit confused. You're sort of watching it, your eyes almost unconsciously tracking it as it goes. When you feel a light touch on your shoulder and says, "So you too were born on a Thursday."
Seamus turns around and sees who has just touched him.
It is a rumpled old woman in dirty clothes. Her hair is a mess, and she is clutching a pint of ale in one of her hands as she looks up at you with sort of rheumy eyes as you tower over her in your rather imposing ginger form.
Yeah, Seamus is 6'4".
Yeah, Linnea's probably 5 feet tall.
Cool. Seamus.
So she's like she comes up to like here on you. She's like a rib cage height.
Yeah, so he's got his Guinness in his hand, and he just takes a big old swap.
They have Guinness then?
Hell yeah, of course they had Guinness back
Oh
then.
yeah.
Had
Yes,
Guinness
Guinness
for
been
like
around for a long
400
time.
years.
Yeah.
And he sort of wipes the froth off and says, "Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't traffic in this kind of magic garbage. Not anyone that's close to me has found me rather hospitable to them."
But you see him, right?
I see him,
That's
but
all
I
I
don't
ask.
do nothing about it.
I wasn't asking you to. I was just. There are those of us who have the sight, but we are somewhat few and far between. I thought perhaps as a fellow Thursday's child, you might like to know you're not alone.
Doesn't matter much to me whether I've seen him or other people have or not. This one doesn't matter much to me either.
Oh, this one doesn't, but And her eyes, which like were previously just kind of like roomy and spacey, sort of sharpen and narrow as she looks at you. But there's one who does, isn't there?
Aye, there is.
And this is what you seek.
Who are you?
Nobody anymore. You can call me Linnea if you like. But once I was a member of a society that had a great deal of knowledge of such things. They could help you.
I come to Uppsala to find some one. And you're telling me now there's a group of people who have an idea as to what these things are, who they are, and where I can find them, eh?
Well, there was. They've all sort of wandered off. Well, many of them are dead. But the castle is still there, and the library. And probably many other things. If you go there, I'm sure you could find something that would help you. Or maybe even someone.
Castle, eh?
Yes,
The name
very
of it.
hard to miss. Gillenkreuz. On the banks of Urus River. Well, these days it is falling apart, but I'm sure the important bits are still there. Oh, that's such a glorious library.
He's like just drinking his Guinness. He's not even listening. He's just like. So if I go to the
Yeah,
castle,
it's
there'll be people there who can help me find this, eh?
What?
Right. Ta. And he just drops the thing on the glass on the bar, throws a couple of shillings. I'm not sure. I assume that they're shillings of some kind. Whatever the money is in Sweden.
I didn't look that up, so I don't know.
Swedish kroner. I think they're called kroner.
Kroner!
Yeah.
Are they our kroner? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
not-
Wait, what am I talking about? I keep paying for stuff in kroner when I
There
buy
you
my
go.
books in Free League. I should have known that.
Exactly. Look at us. Look at us.
Yes.
We're paying for shit and we don't even know what the hell we're paying. So yeah, he would drop the appropriate amount of kroner. Check out the scarcity of said kroner left in his change purse. Take open his journal, take off the ribbon, write in his journal the name of this castle, Gillenkreuz.
Gillenkreuz.
He does a horrible job spelling it. Closes it. You see that, I guess, from your point of view, if you looked at it, you just see tons of writing. He's like 2/3 of the way filled through this journal with just scribbles, drawings, random rants on various things, and shuts the journal, wraps it up, puts it back into his satchel.
And as you leave, as the doors swing shuts behind you, she just kind of smiles and says, "Good luck, Seamus." And then shuffles off to take a seat by the fire.
Nice.
And so each of you, one by one, will arrive at Castle Gillenkreuz. And here is what she looks like. And I am going to... Where is it? There we go. And just for funsies, let's do...
That's not a foreboding looking castle. No,
Not at
siree.
all. There we go. Castle Gillenkreuz is a huge, neglected old castle on a hill by the Furus River. It's surrounded by a black iron fence and has a gate flanked by statues of griffins. The garden and the paved walkway leading to the entrance are overgrown with bushes, trees, and shrubbery. And there are plenty of mice, rats, foxes, and birds. In the backyard, there's a dilapidated jetty on the shore of the Furus River and a boarded-up boathouse. The The garden has several smaller buildings, most likely used as stables, storage rooms, and servants' quarters, as well as a number of statues and a fountain. Up on a small hill, there are 7 rotting crosses of wood. The castle's facade is decorated with monstrous gargoyles. It is a 3-story building with several towers and a vast underground cellar. Castle Gillenkreuz stood vacant for many years. Its old furniture is covered in cobwebs, and mice have nested in couches and chairs. Rats defend their homes, while bats and crows come and go through the holes in the ceiling. Parts of the building reek of mold, and the leaky roof lets rain in. And that is where you find yourselves one by one. I will say that being given the keys and the deed, that Elsa is the first to arrive. Let me get to... Where are we? Making sure I'm grabbing the correct map. I'm just going to put you on this one for Neil. All right. Let me get to the front of the building. And I'm going to drag you all on so that you can see it, and then I'll let you decide in what order you actually show up. So here's an... Oh, I don't need a grid on this, but whatever. I'll get rid of it later. Here's an Elsa. There's a Seamus. There's an Ada, sorry. And there is a Captain Carolus.
I think we're going to need vision, because I'm pretty sure we all have black on the screen.
You're all supposed to have vision. You have vision. That's weird.
Is the dynamic lighting on?
Dynamic lighting is on.
Vision won't give you anything if you have dynamic lighting, because unless you have the map to be like a daylight mode, then you'll need light on the maps.
I did put, like, daylight mode is on, and explorer mode is on, and dynamic lighting is on. All right, let me do that and see if that works.
Dynamic lighting
okay.
Is the bane of many a Roll20 users.
Like,
use.
Okay, I am previewing Coriolis's vision, and I can see your vision. I can see. Did I dragged you to the correct map?
I will.
It says you're all on castle first floor,
and we're all on the right layer.
I'm on the token layer.
Okay, I'm gonna restart Roll20 and let's see what happens.
Is anybody else? Can anybody else see right now? No. Oh my God, Roll20, don't make me hurt you. What is happening right now?
Yeah.
Nope. Still don't see anything.
I just refreshed as
well.
Right.
Let me see something here. Wait. Let me just...
Ping the area just so I, because it's a big map, I'm sure.
Oh, that also could be it too. Let's see.
Well, I'm zoomed all the way out.
Me too.
So.
Me too.
Same. I can't see anything.
Focus ping.
I'm looking at a black.
I literally just threw an actual light onto the map where you're standing too.
Oh, I believe you. It's just a matter of making sure that we have vision.
What the heckity heck? Yeah.
If you want to give us dark vision, that may fix the problem. Who knows?
Okay, let's just do that for now. Seamus, I just gave you dark vision. Can you see now?
No, unfortunately not. I know this is strange, but is dynamic? If you turned dynamic lighting off, what would happen? Would seeing things that we shouldn't see?
Yes.
Okay, well then, fuck it.
There's like, so essentially, what is happening here, and I'll like take you out of the action for a second, is that in addition to gaining experience points to upgrade your characters, you also gain points to upgrade your headquarters.
Oh, Sarah.
And there are, yes.
I think I figured out the reason why. Have you given us control at
I've linked the tokens to your characters.
The tokens in the character.
Oh wait, they were and now they're not.
There we go.
Okay, that's what happened then. Okay, let me first of all take night vision off.
Call out Red Platinum for that one. Good job, Red.
I did that before the game started.
Oh my God, there they are. Now we got vision on.
Okay, so that's, let me hit update default, save. All right, so there's you. Do you one at a time. That is Ada, nameplate, update default. Maybe I didn't click update default when
That's
I did
totally fine. It happens all the time.
Is Elsa,
Oop.
nameplate, update, and
That's a cool
That
map.
is a big map.
oh, trust me, I spent a lot of time on this.
This is very, very cool, Sarah.
Well, there we go.
Okay, I'm changing Captain Coriolis's nameplate to just say Captain Coriolis so that it's not a million miles long. All right, now you should all be able to see.
We definitely can.
Okay, yeah, no, this map is massive and it has got like 4 different levels. It's huge. And the reason this map is so big is because that was the thing I was getting into, is that at the end of each mission, there's a list of questions you can answer that will gain you development points for your headquarters, and there are things in your headquarters that you can unlock
Oh, that's so
that will
cool.
give you boosts. Some of those are discovered facilities, like you find a door you didn't notice before and you discover this new facility. Some of those are things that you can build. Some of them are people that you can hire. There are also off-site locations you can unlock and outside world contacts that you can unlock, all using development points. Some of them have prerequisites, some of them do not. But all of those things allow you to grow your headquarters and will give you certain advantages to be used either while preparing for a mission, on a mission, or when you return from a mission.
That's so cool.
So I built the whole castle, and because I wanted it to be fun, I added a bunch of extra rooms so you guys had places to hang out.
Nice.
So, because you know me, I love making maps. So I'm going to say that Elsa, who has the keys, arrives first. So I'm going to unlock these double front doors, and you may enter at your leisure. And I'm going to I think I'll put the prelude music back on. That was fun. As you approach the moldering and somewhat deteriorated Castle Gillinkreuz and unlock the door with the key given to you by Linnea, it opens with a
That's amazing.
and you should be able let me open. You should be able to move yourself through the door. There you go, yeah. There, now they're both open. There you go. Now you can move in. And you find yourself in a grand foyer confronted by 2 sweeping round staircases with hallways leading both beyond and off to the right and left.
Oh my. What's this?
And as you approach, you hear sort of shuffling footsteps coming from off in a corner.
Hello?
Oh.
Anybody here?
And from around the corner appears, I tried to open the wrong thing. Where is he? There he is. Appears a rather stooped-looking older gentleman in a frock coat with dusty shirt sleeves. Can you see him here?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. And he says, "Oh, hello. I'm
Hello.
Elgit. I'm Elgit. Elgit Frisk at your service." And he offers a somewhat wobbly bow, and this is what he looks like.
Filch.
It is Filch. Oh my god.
He does
Where's
have
the
Filch
cat?
vibes, yes.
Hello, Elgot. I was sent here by Liana. I got the deed for this castle and the keys, and but I was under the impression there was nobody here.
Oh, Miss Linnea told me you might be coming. My family has served the castle for generations, and I am your butler. And he bows to you again.
Okay. Right. So,
Arne, you appear to be doing audio in both Roll20 and Discord, so I'm getting echo from you right now. I don't know if anyone else is, but I am. There we go. Cool.
there we go.
Thank you. Continue.
I think with the restarting, it probably opened up.
Oh, probably.
So, you know this castle?
Oh, like the back of my hand. I have served here. Well, it has been 10 years since the castle was last inhabited, but I putter around and try to make sure that everything is in order. And he sort of gestures at the sputtering gaslights that are casting flickering shadows from the giant statues in the entryway.
And are you the only one here, or are there other people?
Oh, just me and the rat.
The rats?
Well, yes, it's a bit much, this giant building for one man to keep up, and so there are rats, mice, crows, foxes, the occasional possum. It's a bit musty, but I do my best. The library, however, is still in excellent condition. I've made sure to keep the tomes secure and dry.
Can you give me a tour, or?
Of course, you came alone. I was under the impression there would be more of you.
Oh, I don't know. And I go to the door and look outside.
And you may all decide who is arriving when. I leave this to you.
I suppose probably I would be the next one.
Alright.
Let me move the map.
Hello.
Any chance that you are Elsa?
Yes, I am Elsa.
The
And you
old
are?
crones sent me here. My name is Carolus.
Oh, you got sent here by Liana too.
Yes.
Oh, she didn't tell me. But
Well, she just told me.
right. So you can see them too?
I can.
Okay, so I'm not the only one.
Oh, apparently there's a few of us.
Wow. Okay, so yeah. Did you meet any others?
I have not met any others yet. I just got here.
Oh,
Do feel free to come inside.
Oh, thank you. And who are you?
Algot Frisk, butler of Castle Gillengroit. And he offers another wobbly bow. You hear several bones cracking as he bends down and again as he bends back up.
Nod my head.
Please do feel free to make yourselves comfortable. The salon is that way, and he points this way. The conservatory is over there. You'll find the library to your this way. And of course, the ballroom, should you feel so inclined, is at the rear of the castle. Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe I ought to go make some tea. And he putters off. Oh, and I just made his token a very strange shape.
That happens all the time to me.
Apparently,
There we go. He got very tall for a moment. And you
apparently
hear...
he was playing in the alcohol, not the tea.
You hear some doors creaking open as Algot wanders off. Continue doing what you're doing. I'm gonna... Oh, crap. I just left Roll20. Continue doing what you're doing while I get back into the game. He did
Okay.
point you in the direction of a few landmarks. I'm gonna... Actually,
I guess I will, I'm noticing the statues pointing at the statue in the fountain. I would like to take a look at that statue in the middle.
Alrighty, there. I just turned the grid off because this game doesn't use grids. Yeah, so you notice that they're pointing towards the stairs and the statue in the middle. The statue shows a hooded figure with a bowl in its hands, and in the bowl rests what appears to be a human skull, question mark?
Does it look to be a real human skull or part of the statue?
Make a medicine check.
Nice.
First roll of the
Alright.
game.
First roll.
Name him York.
Great.
Mhm.
And this is one I'm really good at. Okay. Hold on, I just lost my character sheet.
Ah.
Or Dan. You can name the
Yeah,
skull
where did
Dan.
that go?
Mhm.
Hold on. There we go. Let me stretch it back out so I can find everything.
Mhm.
Okay, so yes, I don't actually have that skill, so
So
precision.
you can you just roll precision.
Yep, I do have a decent precision. Did it do it?
No, you might just roll medicine, and it should just roll it with just your precision
Alright.
dice. Still not working?
Yeah, no.
Oh, come on, character sheet. Let me see.
Like the dice lights up when I cover over it, but why?
Let me take a look at the.
Huh.
Oh, there's a roll d66 button on here. That's good.
Yeah, it does not like it.
We're trying to roll medicine.
I'm gonna-
Oh, wait. Click it. Hold on. Click it. Then you have to look at the main screen. It rolls up with the input value if you have modifiers. You just need to hit submit with a 0.
Exactly.
It's the classic.
Okay.
So you're going to have a whole bunch of them. There you go. All right, let's see what we got. Nada. So you fail your roll. Now you're not going to incur. You're not going to incur a condition for this roll. You're just not sure. Though, make me. Let me look at your sheet again because I'm still getting used to all of these new skills as well. Make a. I think it's going to be vigilance. Yeah, make a vigilance check.
Okay. And oh yeah, no modifiers.
Same thing again, no modifiers. Hey,
Aha!
success. You do notice that somebody at the base of the skull has scratched in the word Yorick.
Smart asses.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought this was
As soon
Sweden.
as you, as soon-
Oh,
everybody knows Shakespeare.
the wrong country.
Everybody knows
Come on.
Shakespeare.
Yeah, he's been dead for like 200 years at this point.
Exactly. He's been dead for quite some time at this point. Everyone knows Shakespeare. All right. Yeah, so you know someone has scratched Yorick into the skull. It's definitely graffiti. It was not original. What's up, guys? Anybody else want to show up, or you guys want to wander
I mean,
somewhere? There's
I
plenty
guess
of
I could.
unlocked rooms that you can.
I'm
like,
almost
show
positive
on up.
Seamus would show up last. Almost positive. so.
That's fair. You are welcome to be the one who shows up last.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I can't move my character now, and I don't know why.
Okay, that's weird.
Not with the arrows, but I can.
Oh, because I
the
took the
grid
grid.
is off.
I took the grid off because we don't need
okay.
the grid, so you have to use the mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So she'll wander in. She'll stop at the doors and go. They're unlocked. Okay. And then she'll wander in and start looking around.
Oh, Officer Larson. It's good to see you again.
Hello, Captain. I heard that the crazy old lady sent you over to the castle. Now, we're not entirely sure this place is safe because it's been a while since anybody's really done, well, anything with it. So I came here to make sure that you were okay.
Oh,
Are
I
you
assure
okay?
you it's perfectly safe. As
You're still alive?
Algot totters around with like a tray with 4 teacups on. He moves slowly, but his hands are quite steady. Would you like to take tea in the conservatory or in the salon?
Oh, in the conservatory sounds wonderful.
Right
I'm-
this way. And he
I'm
just
taken aback.
hobbles off.
Sure.
Hobbles
that's,
off down this hallway, slowly.
Oh,
My roll
hello.
20 is-
Who are you?
Algot Frisk, butler of Castle Gillencroats.
Out of character. I have a feeling she knows who he is, but it's because Elsa just popped in from the side like a jump scare.
It's like, ha!
Ha!
And he sets the tea down here on this little bench. My roll 20 is very laggy right now. Probably 'cause it's a
Same.
massive map. And then he sort of wanders off again.
Well,
Give me a
thank
shout
you.
if you need anything, or you can simply ring the bell by the door. And he gestures. I didn't put them on the map because it's just occurred to me as a thing that there are bells by all the major doors, a la that show in Britain with the big house.
Mm-hmm.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
that show in Britain with the big
It's been a long week, you guys.
Jane Austen. Something Jane
With
Austen.
the people, you know, they talk British like.
Faulty Towers.
Yeah, and he wanders away.
Is there a doorbell at the actual door to the castle?
Oh yes, there absolutely is.
Ding dong.
Oh no, another
Oh
one.
dear. Oh dear. Frisk has just made it to the kitchen, so you wait a minute as he slowly wanders out. He walks to here. And he's like, "The doors are open. Why didn't you just come in?
I don't come in unless I'm invited. It's not the way I work in my life.
Are you a vampire?"
Listen, you don't have to make a mock of my skin tone, alright? It's not very nice of you.
It wasn't a mockery. It was a question.
No,
Are you physical?
I am not a vampire.
Then please come in. The others are just that way in the conservatory. And
Others?
he
What others?
Sounds like
points
something a
towards the
vampire
hall.
would say.
He-
Shut up.
Oh, gracious. He points you in that direction. He says, "The other Thursday's children, obviously." And just sort of shakes his head and wanders away.
That old woman called me a Thursday's children. I don't know nothing about that. Whoa. Just looking at these giant statues, just sort of like wanders over to one. It's like a lion with wings or some shit.
Yep.
The hell is this? Sort of like touches it, gives it a little tap,
Just a statue. It's dusty, but it's just a statue.
wipes the dust off on his shirt. Just sort of does a quick once over. Looks at these giant motherfucking staircases.
Oh yeah, the ceiling in here is easily 20 feet high at least. It's a castle, man.
No, I don't think he's ever been in a castle before. Ever. But that old snickety snock pointed me to the west, so I'm just gonna sort of jauntily walk through until I spy somebody. I see a door open here, so see a few other people in here. Walk in. Day?
Oh, no,
another
dear,
one.
another one.
Carolus turns and looks at you and says, "Good God, are you Seamus O'Brien, the fighter?"
Well, my reputation precedes me then, it seems.
I saw you fight a few years ago. That was amazing.
Oh, really? Where'd you see me fight?
Oh, good God. I guess Dublin.
Oh, yeah, that would have been right. Which fight did you see me?
Oh, I can't remember the chap's name, but you knocked him out cold in 3 rounds.
Well, then, if that was the fight that you saw, then absolutely, yeah, no, can't say that it wasn't a challenge. You know, they come at me left, right, and center, all wanting to topple me. But yeah, that was a good one. Got a good knocking too. Where are the rest of you?
So far, this is it.
Miss turns to Elsa. Pleasure.
Hello.
Extends
Yes, the pleasure is
a
all mine.
meaty hand towards you.
You get a dainty little hand back.
He sort of envelops your hand, gives you a little.
Oh, you're quite strong, aren't you?
Seamus O'Brien, nice to meet you. Tips sort of the invisible hat to you, Ada, seeing that you're in uniform. Officer.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Ada. You can call me Ada.
You're not a member of the constabulary.
I'm one of the only ones, really.
Well, then I don't call anybody by their first name if they're members of the constabulary. I call them officer.
We're not very formal around here. We're a fairly small town.
So Officer Ada, is it then?
Or you can call me Miss Larson, but Officer Ada would be fine, yeah.
Done. And you, my good fellow.
Oh, you can call me Carolus, my good man.
You're a member of the services around here, are you? I can tell by
I was.
just by your proportion, the way you sit, the way you carry yourself.
This
You
would
have
be
a
an
good eye,
excellent
sir.
time for you guys to describe what you look like.
Good idea.
Do you want to go first there, Seamus?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Matt, remind me the hotkey to blow up a token?
Shift Z.
That's right. There you go. So Seamus O'Brien.
Seamus O'Brien, 6'4", about 225 pounds. He's got the richest, brightest shade of hair in the red that you've probably ever seen. He looks, it frames his face in a sort of circular fashion. It's got a full-on sort of, but not very bushy red beard. A nose that looks like it's been broken at least half a dozen times. Bright green eyes. But beyond that, in terms of the way he dresses, his clothing is very simple. He wears a linen shirt, trousers, boots. Seem kind of worn. A light jacket and suspenders. He's got a satchel. That's it.
All right. What about Captain Carolus, whose name I've been saying wrong this whole time?
Yes, 6 foot, about 180 pounds. An athletic man. Crazy mustache, little goatee, and some serious sideburns.
Nice.
Very well dressed. And definitely stands with that military bearing.
All right. And Ada?
Well, Ada's a little bit surprising to look at, as she is roughly she is the same height as our captain, but is really much broader than the token shows there. As you look between her and Seamus, there's maybe a 15-pound difference between the two of them. She's a little more top-heavy. You can't really see it, but her hair is done in a very tight braid. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it, but
I'm
it was
getting
right
like
down her
Gwendolyn
back.
Christie vibes here.
Very much, yeah.
Okay.
She's very strong looking. Although her eyes are very soft. Like she doesn't have a hard or stern look. It's like she doesn't really care to carry authority with her. So she has a very caring demeanor just through her eyes.
Nice. And finally, Elsa.
Elsa is a tall woman with dark red hair, voluminous dark hair, and she has a dress with a corset on, and you can see it's she's well dressed, but it's a bit worn down. It's like she's always wearing her Sunday best to keep up appearances, presenting herself as more than she might be. And she's always she has a little belt with her writing utensils in there, and she's taking notes, looking around the room.
Love it. Excellent. And proceed, friends. There is tea. I will say Frisk wanders in again and just quietly places a tray of snacks, maybe like some canned salmon pate and cucumbers and dried nuts and fruits over by the tea on the bench, the circular bench that surrounds the whole base of this turret room, and then just totters out again.
Well, it's a pleasure to make acquaintances with all of you. Who was the first person to arrive?
That would have been me. I got the keys from this Liana woman.
Okay.
So she sent all of you here also?
Well, sort of. I came to check up on our captain to make sure that he was okay. You know.
Here you go. This
do
is the
my
woman.
diligence. Oh, okay.
Oh
Oh.
wow, look at it. It's a good.
That's from the book. That's her.
Cool.
Same with Algut. Those are both
Mm-hmm.
from the book.
Das Buch.
Das Buch.
Why would she have sent all of us here?
Well, she's lived here. The story goes is that she had owned this castle at some point, and nobody really knows what was going on up here.
As you say that, Algut sort of appears at the door and says, "Oh, Miss Leia did not own the castle. The society owns the castle. She was merely a member."
Yeah, she told me about this society. So
Oh,
what is
yes.
this like? Is this like their operating quarters? Well, their base of operations, or?
This is their headquarters for the north, yes. There are, of course, other chapters in different countries and locales, but Castle Gillenkreuz is the only remaining society headquarters here in Sweden. After the whole mess at Wallow, things, well, they went a bit south.
They went south how?
Well, when the majority of your membership is burnt to death in a fire, it is rather difficult to keep things going.
Is that likely to happen again?
Oh, I don't think so. Not unless you anger another bunch of trolls.
Oh, so don't piss off the trolls.
Well,
Good
I
to
would
keep in
say that
mind.
is generally good advice at all times, yes.
My memo has
Yeah.
told me never feed the trolls, but whatever.
Well, depends on what you feed them. If they like it, you might be in for a good summer, but otherwise... Oh, you were making a joke, I see. Yes, forgive me, I've been here
Mostly without company for the past decade. I am a bit rusty on my social graces.
So, what's your name again? I didn't catch it when you dropped in the T.
Oh, terribly sorry. Alget Frisk, butler to Castle Gillenkreutz.
Oh, so you're
My family.
the butler. I see.
Indeed, I am. My family has served and maintained this castle for generations. Just because it's empty doesn't mean we go away.
So you're the butler of the person who owns this place, eh?
Well, the society owns the place, and, well, I suppose the society is now... He kind of looks around at you. You?
What? That's a joke. Sort of looks around the other three. What do you mean, we're the society? That doesn't make no sense.
Well, Miss Linnea sent you here, which means you all have the sight, and nobody comes into this castle unless someone tells them to, so I can only assume that you four are here to revive the society and protect
I
the
mean,
people of the north from the Vaesen. Yes.
I was only
well-
looking for information.
I was looking for the person who took my fucking living. Excuse my language.
Oh, well, if it's information you seek, and never fear, my good man, I served in the Navy. The library is this way, if you'd follow me.
My mum always told me never to swear, and if I swear, just to say feckin', not fucking. But what about it? Sorry, I tend to sort of say my thoughts, and that's where I'm at.
let's not worry about that too much. Perhaps we
Maybe-
should go to the library with the rest of them.
Yeah.
He leads you back across the grand foyer to a set of double door, or just a wide door. No, I don't want to ping anyone. I want to open the door. Roll 20. Let me open the door. There we go. All right, and leads you into a relatively sizable library.
Would you mind checking Discord real quick?
Yes, I can do that. Oh, I think I have a feeling I know what you're going to ask. Is it about break?
It may be. Just up to you.
Oh, no, I mean, we can do that thing.
Whenever you want.
Yes. Yes. So we will do that in just a few minutes.
Solid.
All right. It's later than I thought it was. All right.
If it's information you're looking for, this is the library. There are, of course, also books across the hall in the salon, but the bulk of the research, I do believe, is in here. Not a member myself, so I couldn't say for sure, but yes, well, as it is, you have the keys, you have the run of the castle. Please feel free to look around.
And he's gonna bugger off again. You don't know where he went. And actually, yeah, we'll do it here. We're gonna go for a break. I did not realize how late it was, and I'm sure everybody needs to take care of their biological imperatives. So, everyone good with 5 minutes? Anyone need more?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, 5-minute break, and then we will be back. Welcome back from break, everybody, here on Slices and Dices, where we are playing Vaesen. This is our session 0/.5. We have created characters. Our characters are currently in the process of meeting each other and understanding their headquarters a little bit. And I think we're actually going to get into the early stages of the mystery, the Dance of Dream. So to my player characters who are currently gathered in the library where they have just been informed by the somewhat elderly butler of the castle, Alget Frisk, that clearly they are here to rekindle the society, an organization dedicated to studying Vaesen and protecting people from them when necessary. I'm going to say you guys have 10 minutes and then something's going to happen. So continue meeting each other. You are in the library.
Someone want to explain to me what the hell all this stuff is?
They're called books.
I know that. Very funny. I don't understand why the man brought us here in the first place.
Well, there used to be this organization that looked into these creatures that we all can see, and they investigated them. And I think this is their library where they wrote down their research.
They're like journals and stuff.
I guess so. Yeah.
So I'm gonna start rifling through the shelves. What kind of things do I see?
Okay, you see various books on the occult, on magic. Many of them have handwritten notes scrawled in the margins. And go ahead and roll me a 1d8. Roll me a
Roll you.
D8.
A D8, okay.
A D8. What'd you get?
I'm looking 3.
3. You find Malleus Maleficarum, which is a text from the 15th century that was used as a handbook by witch hunters of both Catholic and Protestant faith. It focuses on witches, but also contains quite a bit of information about various Vaesen.
Yeah, these are definitely books on the occult and the strange creatures that I think all of us have been seeing.
I would also
I would like
to roll.
each of you, actually, before you do that, each of you make a learning for me. Actually, yeah, even including Seamus.
You're very funny.
No, there's a specific reason why. All right, so Ada, 1 success. Elsa, 1 success. Nothing from Captain Carolus. This actually tracks if you grew up wealthy.
Nothing.
Nothing from Seamus. All right, okay. So, both Ada and Elsa, everyone keeps using this word Vaesen, and the two of you, based on your upbringing, no, I don't know if either of you are perhaps raised in a small town or have like older grandmothers who are raised out in the villages. But as you like sort of sift through these books, sort of glancing over titles, maybe opening a book and flipping through a page, you're realizing that some of the stories that you heard when you were a child are represented in these pages, but as opposed to something fantastical told to children to frighten them, or perhaps someone's grandmother explaining why she always leaves a small bowl of cream by the door at night even though she doesn't have a cat. You're starting to piece together that what you're seeing in these books tells you that there is a stronger connection here. That these things that you see, and Elsa, you've been seeing them since you were a child, so perhaps even more so for you, realizing that there is more truth to these old stories than you had given credence in the past. And Jane, oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh, these books, these stories, they're like, yeah, they're all the tales my grandmother used to tell me. And I mean, some of these things, I think I've seen them. Like when I went playing in the forest, like, and she points at some kind of leprechaun kind of thing in the book, like.
I think you point to a will-o'-the-wisp, the lights that flicker in the woods.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen these. Yeah, at night in the forest behind the house. Like, I always thought they were my imagination, but no.
I think you're right. A lot of these remind me of, well, let's just say dreams that I would get when I was younger. I used to think they were stress or something else. Now, well, over time, I realized it was not due to stress. But maybe I can find the answer here.
You're all from this place, this country. I'm not. I'm the outsider here, but even so, where I'm from, we have tall tales, legends, stories that date back far into the past, before the Romans even came to Ireland. Druids and the like, monsters, giants, all that are just children's tales. At least that's what I thought. Till one beat me senseless.
You got into a fist fight with one of them?
Didn't know it was one.
They do that sometimes, I'm saying.
I knew it couldn't be human. I mean, I hit him with such a hard blow in the head. Should have knocked his head straight off. Just stood there smiling at me. Those yellow eyes. And he laughed. Like I tickled him or something. Lifted me off the ground. Threw me down and don't remember very much after that.
I thought that they were just children's stories too, and spent years, learning and joined the military, became an officer, led men into battle, and one of the last battles that I was in, we had almost completely routed the enemy. And there weren't many of them left to run from the battlefield, but then enemy and friend alike, dead, stood back up and came at anything that was living. Them, us, didn't matter. They were a lot easier to take down this time, but something like that stands back up and comes after you, friend and foe. It leaves scars.
I can imagine. That must have been quite the experience. I saw one too. Long time ago. I was playing in the backyard with my baby brother, and I don't know when, or I looked away for only a moment, and he was gone, and I ran after him into the forest, and there was this shape, and it had him, and it looked at me with these terrible, frightening eyes, and it just took him. And that's what I'm still trying to find what took my brother. And now this proves that I wasn't crazy, like they said.
Yeah, these kind of things can definitely lead you to think you're crazy, but maybe we're not as crazy as everybody said we were.
I never thought I was crazy.
I have never met anybody else that could see them.
I always kept it to myself.
As did I.
It was a lot easier that way. You know, when they train you to aid the community. Mentioning that you can see little people in red clothing that others can't, or the flickering lights, or perhaps giant green monstrosities that seem to disappear into the bark. They don't like that.
What's most concerning to me is that the one that I'm looking for is, well, it's almost human. Doesn't seem to be some kind of a horrible troll or monster, giant, elf, whatever you want to call them. One looked human.
I have a feeling.
If one could look human, then how many of them are out there that could look human as well? Eh?
Maybe they disguise themselves. I mean, I have seen them just disappear into darkness or become rocks or walk out of rocks like it was a home. They do things. Perhaps the one that you fought might be in one of these volumes somewhere.
Well, I'm no good at books. The rest of you want to look, be my guest, but it'd be a waste of time for me to pick up one of these old dusty tomes.
Well, there must be a reason that this woman sent us all here. The four of us.
Can I roll to, because I didn't have any dialogue with her about the society or anything like that, can I roll to see if I could figure out?
Let me check something, because I got a couple options for...
Okay. Because what I want the character to see if she can figure out is... Because
yeah, tell me what you're trying to figure out. That's good.
Is if we're all chosen specifically by her to fill out roles within the society.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got what you mean. So you're trying to roll to figure out Linnea's reasoning with telling you about this place.
Yeah.
Okay. That would be an observation roll.
Okay.
It's like a retroactive observation roll now knowing what you know. 2 successes. Nice. All right, so yeah, what you sort of realize is that you noticed something in Linnea that it sort of seems she was looking for. You realize in retrospect that she knew immediately that you had the sight. She could just kind of tell. And she remembers what it was like and how alone she felt when she thought she was the only one. And having already sent 2 people here to the castle, she wanted you to not feel alone anymore. She sent you here to find people to help you. And you sort of get the sense that she didn't necessarily have, especially with the way like Frisk was talking to you, it's not like she had a purpose for you. She just, as somebody who has the sight and someone who was a member of the society, she just kind of felt that this was the place you needed to be. And so she gave you a little nudge.
She gave us each a push out the door.
Exactly. She gave you all just like a little shove in the right direction. Because you can tell also with that extra success, and also because they've all told you each of these people is looking for something, because they were all negatively affected by a Vaesen in some way. And so you feel that she sent you all here because you all need something, and she thinks that this place and that the rekindling of the society is going to help you find it.
I have a feeling she sent us all here with the purpose of helping us, to help each other. Perhaps.
And also, sorry, gonna add one more thing there. And because you were all impacted negatively by Vaesen, she senses in all of you a desire to not let that happen to other people.
I think overall she wants us to continue what the society used to do, each of us finding our role, and to help one another. And if you're all willing to, I think we should go on this journey together. Because I'm willing to help as well.
And right as you say that, perfect, beautiful, I love you, amazing, you hear the doorbell ring. And you hear the sound of Frisk shuffling down the hallway, down to the front door. And then he comes into the library with a very tarnished silver tray on his hand, holding a folded piece of paper sealed with red wax. And he says,
"It appears you have a letter."
and he walks up to Seamus, actually, because you're the closest one, and just sort of half bows and presents the tray with the letter to you.
Seamus picks up the letter.
Frisk shuffles off.
The hell is this?
It appears to be some kind of letter. It's a piece of paper. It's been folded in 3, and it's sealed with a piece of red wax with a seal that says Clint, Klint.
Any of you know a Clint?
No,
Wax.
not personally.
Wax seal.
No.
I haven't seen one of these in a while, but it says Clint on it.
I imagine if it's sent here, it might be from somebody named Clint.
Wise observation, Ada. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to break it open and see what it says, eh?
Go for it. I'll
Seems
read
to
over
be
your
for
shoulder
us,
if you don't mind.
Not at all.
All right.
Breaks it open, reads whatever.
You
the
break it
letter says.
open, and you are presented with this.
Right.
It is a handwritten flyer that says, "The Dance of Dreams, a shadow play of horror, murder, and revenge. Let yourself be enraptured and terrified by shadow theater with clockwork as amazing as that of the master's constructions on the continent. Watch as evil smiles, good people go to their doom, and spirits come to life. Follow Oscar Hjort's encounter with the Black One, his struggle, and finally the betrayal which claimed his life. Hear the tunes of the enchanted flute that sends souls dancing to hell. The show will premiere shortly at the Witch Cat Inn, not for the faint of heart." And then below that, in different handwriting, it says, "Meet me tonight at the Witch Cat Inn. Olaus."
Olaus?
Olaus. I will put it in chat.
Olaus.
Yeah.
Any of you know an Olaus?
Well, I'm going to pause you quickly, because right now, we enter what is known as the preparation phase of a mystery.
Oh, shit.
So there are 2 key things that happen during the preparation phase of a mystery. The first is that you can look for clues and information either here in the castle or around Uppsala before you leave to get an idea of what you're getting yourself into. The second thing that happens is that each of you may play a scene where you gain what is known as an advantage. And the book is honestly a little bit vague on how these work, so this is how I have decided to rule this. Whatever scene you play, you can determine if it generates a physical advantage or a mental advantage. And what that means is that once per session during that specific mystery, you can choose to use your advantage to gain a +2 to a roll. A physical roll or a mental roll, depending on which of the two you chose. That means you get to roll 2 extra dice. You need to choose it before you roll or before you push. That's because you can push in this game. To push, you generate a condition. We haven't gotten there yet. So those are the things that need to happen. You guys can choose to search for clues, either here or elsewhere around town, wherever you think you may find one. And you can choose to play, you can play scenes that you will set up. They can be with each other, with NPCs, with people from your backstory, however you like it to be, that will generate either a mental or a physical advantage for the coming mystery. And then once during each session, you can say, I choose to use my advantage. I get a +2 to this roll. Cool?
Cool.
All right. So, continue with your role-playing. I do believe that Seamus just asked if anyone knows a Clint.
No, well, not just a Clint, but also on Olala. Sorry, I'm just gonna recheck my Olash? Olaus, that's the one. Olaus.
Would I know that person?
Make a learning roll.
Okay.
With 2 successes, yes, you do in fact know who this is. Olaus Clint is a private detective who operates in Uppsala. He has a small house in the middle of the city, and he's made a name for himself as an expert in cases involving the occult.
I do know him. I've more or less met
I
him
will say you have not met him, but you know who he is.
because I've not been working here long enough to have run into a case that would involve him. I know his reputation is into the occult, so if we need to, we can. Well,
Well,
I
he
don't know if
specifically
we-
he asks you in the note to meet him tonight at the Witch Cat Inn.
I don't think we should go there before the time specified, but if he's asking us to meet him there, then I have a feeling it has to do with a Vaesen.
I'm going to see if there's any books in here on spirits.
Yeah, it seems like
Any-
there's some clues in the letter.
Okay. Roll. There are definitely clues in the letter. Roll a, let's say, vigilance roll. Nada.
Yep.
So you sort of shuffle around, and actually you do end up finding a what appears to be a list of society members, but the handwriting is absolutely terrible. Like, you cannot read what it says.
It's a doctor's script, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they're like it's this guy looks like he was definitely prescribing medication during his day job. It's like you can kind of you like you got that little niggling feeling in the back of your brain that this is probably important, but you cannot make this out at all.
Can any of you make out what's on this? It's just absolute chicken scratch.
Do you want to take a crack at it, Elsa?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hand it to me.
All right. You go ahead and make a. Yeah, let's call this vigilance again. A vigilance roll. One success. You
Ooh.
cannot make out the entire list, but you do see that mentioned on the list is a man named Oscar Hjort, who lived in the late 18th century. He worked as a writer, like yourself, and he spent some time in Paris studying under François Dominique Séraphin, a famous artist who put on shadow plays for the court at Versailles and the Palais Royal.
Sarah, point of clarification, because you said the late
Yes.
18th century. What
Yes.
approximate time period is it now?
You're in the 19th century. That's all you need to know.
Cool beans.
Because remember what I said earlier about it being not historically accurate?
Yeah,
Alternate reality. Just imagine Victoriana.
done. Thank you.
That's pretty much what we're living in.
No worries. Got it. Just making sure.
Yeah, no problem. Like that's so late 18th century means that we're not at the end of the 19th century.
Mhm.
So probably like 50-ish years ago.
Just from the perspective of technology, even in that particular vein
Oh, yeah.
of.
Well, no, like I said, that's a very important aspect of this game is that whatever you want to say exists kind of can.
Got it.
So like if there's a piece of technology that you want to ask me if it exists, we as a group can decide if it does or not.
Okay, that's fair.
The motion picture.
The internet.
No. No internet, no motion pictures. But like, yeah, it's very fluid. So like I would say that in major cities there are buildings with electricity, and Uppsala, no. In this castle, definitely not. Maybe Uppsala, maybe like I would say probably a couple of the major businesses and maybe the hospital have some electricity. But it's not common. It is a rarity kind of thing.
Got it.
All right. So, to recap, you know that Olaus Klint is a private detective who specializes in the occult, and that the name listed as the subject of this shadow play, Oscar Hjort, was in fact a member of the society who studied shadow theater in France.
Looking at the paper, this play, I'm not a person who sort of takes the arts relatively seriously. What is it that they mean by the darkness, eh? What does that mean? Is that some kind of like a drama thing?
I'm not sure. But it also speaks of the Dark One.
Oh, sorry. No, that's what I meant to say. The dark one, not the darkness.
Yeah. I'm wondering, and she starts looking around. Is there like a way? Is there like maybe some index cards or something that you can try to find some information on the Dark One? Yeah.
I would actually, you know what? The society used to be very organized. I will say they have a somewhat. There is like a card catalog. It's not the Dewey Decimal System. You're not actually sure what. Like there definitely is a catalog of books. The organization thereof is not great. Go ahead and make. I'm gonna make this a learning roll to like figure out what's in this catalog and see if you can find anything helpful. Oh, nice too. Okay. You don't find anything about the Dark One, but you do find a book, or you find a reference to shadow theater, and it references you to a journal that you find like high on a shelf towards the back of the library, where it seems that the more personal writings of members were kept. And this was somebody who was very interested in artistic representations of things. And actually, to be honest, there's not a lot about Vaesen in this book at all. It was mostly just like someone's personal journal about art history. But you do notice that you find something about shadow theater, which is mentioned in that's what this is, the shadow play. Shadow theater originated in India and China, where it was practiced several centuries before Christ. Cut-out paper figures are held up to a source of light which creates shadows on a cloth screen. A skilled puppeteer can manipulate the puppets and the light so that the figures appear to be alive. The art form came to Italy in the 18th century and continued to spread across Europe. Artists in England and France have experimented with clockworks to create automated shadow theaters.
And when she reads this, she goes like, that invitation talked about clockwork.
It did.
So
No.
this
And
must
actually-
be the...
I will get, because you got 2 successes, I will give you this as well. Francois Dominique Serafine, the artist. Oh, it's in there. The art, like that you put that together. That the artist who created Shadow Plays is who this Oscar Hjort, former society member, studied under. Now, he was a society member 50 years ago. And now someone's writing a play about him?
Yeah. It also mentions the master's constructions. Now, I want to research that specifically.
Let me look at the letter again. So I don't think you're going to get much with that, but I want to look at it.
Okay. As amazing as that of the master's constructions on the continent.
Oh, yeah. The master is, you put it together that the master is Francois Dominique Serafine.
Oh, okay. Then I think I'll go after the enchanted flute that sends souls dancing to hell.
You get nothing on that. I'll tell you that right up. I'll just tell you that straight up.
Okay.
It is a theater flyer, after all.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in the note that you would like to research?
I mean, we could check the journal to see if we could find anything more about the betrayal from the Black One.
You get nothing.
No? Okay. I guess that's it.
The journal was mostly about theater.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right. So you will be headed to the Witch Cat Inn. Do you know where that is?
Hell if I know.
It's in town.
It is
It's-
in town.
It's not in town.
It's not in town. Then I don't think Elsa would know where it is.
Why would he send us this if he... Where is this place?
I've never
Gonna
heard
have
of
to
it.
Gonna have to find out.
Well, you bookie people, I don't even know how to read a map, so gonna have to try and figure out where this place is, eh? Black Cat Inn.
Can we find a map of the area in the library? Like,
Make a vigilance roll. All right, you don't find a map, but while searching for a map, you do find another note. The Witch Cat Inn is an inn at the crossroads north of Sigtuna, so about 3 hours by carriage out of town. When the society was rebuilt after the Great Aulu Fire at the end of the 18th century, the inn was used as a gathering place, as the innkeeper at the time, Piri Harjula, was a Thursday's child. Today, the inn is run by Piri's grandson, Sammy Harjula.
All right.
it appears that the inn is connected to the society. Might stand to reason they will open us. They will receive us with open hands.
We're supposed to keep our involvement with this pretty secret, I assume, eh? Quite close to the chest, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Probably.
It does stand to reason that they would know of us if the inn is being ran by the... Is that the sun, right?
And this Olaus seems to know the society.
As you said, he's some kind of a cult specialist, some private investigator, eh?
Yeah. It would stand to reason that if he knows of the society, he wouldn't say anything about it. And even if he doesn't, maybe to him it's more a conspiracy.
Indeed. Makes sense.
Well, he did send the note to the society headquarters. Just putting it up.
I guess we'll have to go there if you want to find out what this is about.
It'll take a while without horse and carriage.
Do we have any way of getting a carriage out?
Maybe the
I would
society has a carriage.
You can easily just book passage on a carriage. It's a well-traveled route. Like it's like getting on a bus. I'll just give that to you.
Okay. Well, unless there's anything else to look through here in this rather humongous and forbidding library of occult tomes, I would assume next step would be to get out to this Black Cat Inn, eh?
So it is, I would say, early afternoon at this point. You have several hours until you need to catch a carriage to the Witch Cat Inn, in which time the few things that you have left to do are to play your individual scenes to gain your advantages, and you can also gather equipment. So here is how I am going to, I'm just going to read you the bit from the book. For preparatory equipment, equipment has a level between 1 and 5 that indicates its availability, how easy it is to acquire. Equipment is mostly obtained through contacts and status represented by your resources value. Your party is expected to procure equipment for the expedition at the start of the mystery before you head out. It is part of the preparation phase. Each player rolls the number of dice indicated by their character's resources value. The number of successes is used to purchase any equipment. For example, an item with availability level 1 costs 1 success, while another with level 3 costs 3 successes. You can donate successes to each other or add them together to purchase higher level equipment and decide among yourselves who will carry the equipment regardless of whose success is paid for it. Each player may also decide to move points from their free capital, but will then have less to spend during the mystery. Shopping during the mystery is not going to matter during this campaign. So, essentially, So if you're destitute, poor, or struggling, you are not going to roll anything. You still roll your resources die, but you have no modifier.
Right.
Your capital if you're poor is 0. Your capital if you're struggling is 1. Financially stable 2, middle class 3, well off 5. Well off, you get a plus. Oh, sorry, those modifiers are for shopping during the mystery. Never mind. So, but that does tell me what your capital is. So if you want to move from capital to buy equipment, you can. But in the meantime, everybody roll a number of d6s equal to your resources value.
So you can just roll resources, essentially.
Oh, if it's on your sheet to do that, yes. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Nothing from Elsa. Nothing from Seamus.
Ugh.
1 from Captain Carolus. Who's left? Ada.
You had 6 resources?
2.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he spent skill points to be rich.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah,
All right,
he looks
so
at
you
look at
have
his token. It's fucking rich.
2 points with which to procure equipment. And if you go into the handouts under equipment, it will give you a list of I believe it's under game mechanics, equipment and weapons. And then equipment, there's also ranged and melee weapons, but you can decide, take a moment to scan through those things. They're kind of tiny.
Ooh,
they
God,
can
they
also
really
be
are.
found. Yeah, let me, on the 4 players book, let me find it and tell you where it is, because that will probably
Chapter
be easier for
5.
you guys to see. There you go.
Page 73, 74 is where it starts.
There you go. 73, 74. Thank you, Jay.
Yep, I had it open.
I can't be the PDF whiz when I'm also running the game.
So
let's
we
see.
can.
So you have a
if-
grand total of 2 points.
Oh, wow.
to spend. Yeah, you guys did not roll well on your resources. So you have a grand total of 2 points to spend on resources. This is an introductory mystery, so you may not mean much, but there's things like you can get lock picks for 2 points, opera glasses for 1, a hunting trap for 1, hurricane lamp, compass. I'm just like, someone already has writing utensils and paper. Someone already has a magnifying glass, a cooking pot. You're going to an inn, so you probably don't need that. A crystal ball you can't afford. You don't need horses because you're taking a carriage. Makeup, disguise, elegant disguise, rope,
Ooh, a cannon.
a cannon. Yeah, also weapons. Though several of you have weapons already, and once again, you're going to a hotel.
Right. Right.
Look at the equipment. I'm gonna make a bio break.
Okay. I don't see any weapons per se that.
Separate
Seamus would
table.
take. Yeah, no,
It's
no,
down.
Yeah.
meaning I don't see any that he would take.
Oh, okay.
He's not that kind of a guy, anyway.
I think we could take. Because I'm trying to think of something that'd be useful.
Also, remember again, and this is, I'm going to talk to you from outside of camera view, is that weapons are only good against people, not Vaesen. This is
Right.
not D&D.
Right.
Low weapons is not necessarily what you need to do. It's like, it's a very difficult mind frame to break, which is why I'm specifically reminding.
That's okay.
You can take some liquor.
Yeah. Although we're going to an inn, you would hope they have some
Yeah,
liquor.
they will have liquor, yeah.
But
But did
I
they say
like where
something
your
about
mind
lockpicks?
goes, Arne. I like it.
Well, all the good stuff is out of our
Yeah.
reach, so...
I don't want to just.
Yeah. I'm
Take
trying to
both
think
of
Well, I
them.
mean,
Thinking-
no. Oh no, the thing is, this disappears. This is a roll for 1 mission.
Yeah.
This is literally, you have these points to spend right now, and then they go away. They don't accumulate over missions. It's every time at the start of every mission, you make a resources roll to see what you can take with you. And there are upgrades that you can give to the castle that will let you get more shit without needing resources. So,
I think we should. I know that sounds strange, but we're gonna find ourselves in a situation where we're gonna need to probably figure something out, or potentially, open places and things that may necessarily be opened for us. So it's either lockpicks or a crowbar. In my mind.
That works for me.
Well, which one?
Well, you look like a pretty sturdy dude. How about a crowbar?
I've used them before for various and sundry reasons. So, sure.
all right. So you spend your 2 resource points to purchase a crowbar, which I'm assuming Seamus is going to carry. So you can go ahead and add that to your inventory. That
Yep.
will give you a +1 to break locks using force.
Done.
Nice.
Would that be considered a weapon too, or no?
I'll get back to you on that. It's not going to matter tonight.
No worries.
I mean, I can show
If
you a
it- if
crowbar
it-
from the 1960s.
If it was, I mean, yeah, it would I can't
Yeah.
remember if this game has improvised
on
weapon
there.
rules.
Oh,
It does?
shit.
Well,
No,
there
no,
you go then.
it's in the melee list. It'll give
Okay.
you a
Oh, it's
1
nice.
damage and a +1 bonus.
Oh, so it's the same as my knuckle
Nice.
dusters, essentially.
Yeah.
Mhm. Close combat.
But it's also a tool. Nice. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So we have procured equipment. You have looked for clues. The last thing remaining in the preparatory phase is for each of you to play a scene, and it doesn't have to be here in the castle, and it doesn't have to be with each other, where you generate an advantage for the coming mystery, either mental or physical. And I'll give you an example because I know that this is like a weird thing. This is new. So an example, somebody was like, I train with my rapier day and I train with my rapier like crazy. I go out and train. And that's gonna give me a that's very specific, but like I said, the rules on this are weird, so I'm making them vaguer because I like it better that way.
Right on.
Because if you train for a close combat advantage and then you play a mystery with no close combat, you're wasting your advantage.
Exactly.
And I don't want that to be a thing. So I am ruling this as mental or physical. The only rule that I'm keeping from the book is that on the next mystery, you have to choose the opposite.
That's great. I like that. That's a really good rule. Otherwise,
So,
you're just like, oh, I train for mental, I train for mental, I train for mental all the time.
Exactly. So, it's up to you if you want to train for an advantage on something you're already good at, if you want to train for an advantage on something you're not so good at, so that you can like help yourself out when you're in a tight spot. Up to you. Another one is like there's someone's like when they're one of the examples from the book when they're talking about somebody using their advantage, they're like, I remember my conversation with the woman on the train. We have a 3-hour carriage journey, and it's just going to be you guys and like maybe one other person, like random NPC. So this journey is not as long. Like I remember my conversation with a woman on the train and how she told me to always look for light in the darkness. I take a +2 on my inspiration roll, like stuff like that. So it can be anything. Like you can go home and visit your family. You can go to the gym. You can go to the pub. You can keep freaking reading in the library. Like, this is also just a chance to explore your characters a little more. And like, what do they do to psych themselves up for something? Like, what do they do when they know they need to be on their A game? What are the things that drive them? What keep them going? What make them good?
Seamus is a man that I think is relatively simple, to be perfectly honest. After he sort of looks at the other 3 of them and says, listen, you all have your heads in certain places. I have mine in mine. I hope you don't mind, but I don't see the things, particularly in this place, that's going to help me get my head straight. I'll catch up with you before we leave. But, be back in, I'd say, a few hours.
I'll say you all know where the carriage departs from. Like like I said, the carriage is like the bus. There's always a stagecoach going from point A to point B to point C. So like you can make your plan to meet there if you so desire. Kind of like we'll meet at the West Fork train station at 7:00 now.
So we'll meet you at the train station at 7:00.
Meet you at the coach post.
Yeah, Tashi coaches.
Yes, the Tachi coach station.
There you go.
Coachella, it's called. All right.
Oh my god.
Fuck you.
Fuck me both.
I'd say that you need to depart at 4. So you've got it's early afternoon. You've got 3 hours till you need to depart to accomplish whatever
That's
you need
enough
to accomplish.
time. That's enough time for Seamus to get rip-roaring drunk and then go for a fight somewhere in
I
town.
love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love that
he'll
shit.
pick
It's
a
gonna
fight, probably in the
be
bar.
drunk in the carriage. This is amazing.
Getting
I love
drunk and then picking a fight in the
that.
bar.
Why do you pick a fight? Who do you pick a fight with and why?
Shite. I probably would think that... yeah, I mean, listen, not to say that these Swedes are not up to par, but let's just call a spade a spade. They're tall, they're blonde, and they're kind of whistly, wily. You know what I'm saying?
So he picks a fight with the biggest Viking-looking mofo he can find.
Hell
doesn't he?
yes.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Sven. It probably says on his shirt. So he has he's about 3 hours. It'll probably take you about four. I'd say 4 to 4.5. Guinness is in, maybe with some Jameson chasers, and then he just sort of walks over to this gentleman, this large fella, not as large as he is certainly, but close enough, and just pokes him in the chest and says, "Hey, your name's Sven? Your name's Sven?"
Hey. No, my name is Lars.
Just punches him right before his right in the face.
Before he even gets the word Lars out.
Just
I
punch
love
him
it.
right in the face. Haymaker in the face.
Right. So you'll get into a bar fight, and I'll say you managed not to get arrested.
Works for me. That's
Uh,
that's better than I normally get. To be perfect.
And show if you get arrested, you can't go on the mission.
Oh,
so you
shit.
somehow manage to just maybe you just sucker punch this guy in the face you let him get in 1 or 2 on you just for funsies.
Yeah.
Then you knock him out cold and take off running.
I love it.
All right.
Running awkwardly and,
so-
drunkenly. Just like,
So so Seamus shows up at the carriage post, drunk and bloody. Who's next?
Elsa is gonna go back to the newspaper and trying to convince her boss that she has a story that she wants to go on, and that she'll be away for a while.
All right,
She doesn't know how long.
Everybody is going to be American right now, either American or British right now, because I have not researched my Scandinavian accents enough to feel confident in doing one. So you're just going to be like, story. What kind of story?
It's there's this new play, shadow play, and apparently it's very
Oh, an
very
art space. That's
popular,
great
yeah.
for the ladies. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's right up your alley. Yeah. All right. Get out of here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Back first thing tomorrow.
And she hears the guys
Yeah, the dudes
one
are
desk
all
over, and they're
snickering in the
talking
background.
about
Yeah.
and they're talking about the fist fight that broke out in a bar somewhere. And
some big ginger guy. I don't even know. I was just trying to grab some lunch. I took one look at the window and I went down the street. It was insane.
Elsa's like, "Oh, that sounds dangerous."
Don't know that guy.
Yes. Oh my
Never
God.
met a ginger.
I love this so much. It's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Ties into what I want to do.
Okay. Then you're up next. What's up?
I want to do something that will give me advantage.
I mean, that's what we're all doing right now. So we've got,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that we got physical advantage from Seamus and mental advantage from Elsa. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Go on, Ada.
What I was thinking of is doing something for empathy, because I wanted to have a nice boost for observation.
You can use empathy, but empathy. Right. Sorry. That's a total thing. Yes. All right. So what do you want to, well, empathy is mental. So what are you doing to get a mental advantage? I'm broadening this out widely because
okay.
I want them to be widely usable. So.
Okay. Well, she probably goes.
But yeah,
to...
you can make it an empathetically focused thing. That's fine. So what are you doing to get your mental advantage?
She's probably going to go to the station where maybe there's a half a dozen other people in there, and is just listening to everybody talk and pinpointing, like kind of zeroing in on what people are saying in specific conversations, just not taking part in any of them, but listening in.
Fuck. All right. With any particular goal in mind, or is just what is she doing while she listens to these people? Why is she listening to them?
Well, she's thinking of certain phrases to pay attention to, like maybe something that has to do with anybody, like anybody in the group, I guess we could call it.
Mhm.
If any, where I don't know, maybe the other officers are talking about maybe something that disappeared, or maybe if they're talking about anything that she could clue into that might have to do with Vaesen or with oddities throughout town. Maybe people losing their memory, or just anything that seems out of the ordinary, anything unusual.
I think I'm going to make you actually play this one, because right now I'm not quite sure where you're going. So you're listening into conversations around the police station, and you hear some guy. It's like, I had to go to the asylum, and that old bat, she wouldn't stop talking to me again. Every time I go in there, she's like a leech.
Okay. And then she'll go over and say, did she say anything strange like she usually does?
What, like, but being born on a Thursday? Yeah, like, I was born on a Tuesday. I don't know what she's talking about. She always grabs me. It's weird.
Does she do anything when she grabs you, or is she just hanging on?
No, she's just hanging on, but it's like, I don't even know what her name is. And she always tells, like, anytime I go in there to check up on a case or what, you know, and I have reasons to be there. But anytime I'm there, that old bat just, oh yeah, born on a Thursday, Albrecht, like sometimes I hate this job, man. Gotta be nice. I want to be nice. I want to tell her to fuck off, but I can't.
Well, she is old and rather unhinged, so.
Oh, so you know her. She tell you you're born on a Thursday?
I was born on a Thursday.
Well, hey, 1 in 7 chance, right? Yeah. He like gives you like a thump on the arm. Maybe a little bit harder than it needs to be. It's like mostly friendly, but a little bit aggressive. And he like wanders off to go talk to someone else. And yeah, there you go. Mental advantage for the next one. And what about you, Carolus? Carolus or Carolus? Carolus?
Carolus.
Carolus. Okay.
I
Carolus,
believe.
not Coriolis. Carolus. All right. I mean, it's your name. It's however you want to say it. All right, Carolus.
Sure.
What about you?
He's gonna stay right here in the library. He's gonna
All right.
rifle through the books and probably look for books on conducting investigations.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm gonna look for something. I gotta find the thing again. Hang on. In the bookmarks, because I can't bookmark everything, or it would all be bookmarks. It's like I know what subheading to go to. I just have to find the subheading. Roll me. Okay, first of all, call high or low.
High.
All right, roll me a 1d100 80 and above is what you're aiming for.
I got one of
All
those.
right.
Oh, so close.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'm not like here's the thing. Like it's not this is not a skill check, and also actually something very specific in this game is that like skill checks are not necessarily outright fails. There is like you might like not roll any successes. It doesn't necessarily mean you automatically fail. It might just mean there's consequences. So for example, when you found the name Oscar Hjord, like you found it, but you couldn't read it. Someone had to help you. Like that's another thing that's like that's a specifically GM thing, but that's something I want you guys to know about this game is that this game is very much geared towards the mystery must go on. You can't have clues that your characters can't get. There always has to be a way to get it.
Yep.
You just have to figure out what that way is. Which honestly should be for any RPG mystery, but it is very specifically written into the book on this one. So I was wondering if you would find the book I wanted you to find. You didn't, but that's cool. But you do, like, you don't necessarily come across specifically a book on investigations. Because while this library, like, you come to realize as you're looking through this library that it's like a good 50-50 of actual published tomes and just accounts from members of the society over the hundreds of years that it existed. Like some of these books are old as shit and pretty well preserved. Like Frisk has done a good job. Like when he said he made sure the library stayed intact, you realize that like of every room in this castle, this one is in the best shape. This one is the driest. Like he has taken very good care of the books. This man clearly cares. And you do find not necessarily like a book on like here, like investigations for dummies, but you do like read several journals. Like you find lots of accounts that various previous investigators of the society have written down of their exploits. And from that, you feel you've got a pretty solid idea of how society members conduct their investigations. So I'm assuming this is mental advantage for you.
Okay, yes.
All right, so I got 3 mentals and 1 physical. I love it. All right, we're gonna... Sweet. If we take like 5-ish more minutes, we can make it to one of my stopping points. So let's do it.
Nice.
So we're coming up on 1. So let's do this. 5, maybe 10, 5-ish.
Okay.
All right, so you all meet up at the post where you know the stagecoach is going to be. And you all have noticed as you make your way through town that the weather has been darkening. The sky is getting bleak. And I'm going to take you to this map right here, which is going to show you the road you need to take. So I did not load a carriage or this is the party token, so I am just going to grab... I'll grab Castle Gillenkreutz. That'll be our party marker. There we go.
Ooh,
So here's where you are in Uppsala. Here's where you need to get to at the Witch Cat. This is the ferry crossing down the way, and this is so basically this is the stagecoach to Sigtuna, and the Witch Cat is a stop along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So you all meet up at the ferry post as the sky grows darker and darker, and as you climb into the carriage, the skies just like, it's one of those things where it's like drop, 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 boom! And it is raining. It is absolutely pouring down. As you board the carriage and the driver calls, "Yep, all aboard for Sigtuna, let's go." And you find it's actually only the 3 of you, or the 4 of you, climbing aboard as the carriage departs. And let me get to where I need to be. And
I feel like we should all do this.
we're riding. Okay, here we go.
Like a pack of Muppets, we're off.
Yeah.
So it is late autumn. And as you leave, the storm just begins to rage around you. Black clouds blanket the sky, and the wind is howling with rain and hail pouring down. You are soaked to the skin in the few seconds it takes you to get into the carriage. Lightning cracks across the sky, and thunder makes the horses rear and whinny, but the coachman drives them on with his whip. It takes about 3.5 hours, during which the storm does not let up. It almost feels as if this storm is following you. Like, you know, when you're driving and you're like, I'm going to get ahead of it. And the storm is just like, ha ha ha, no, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening with your carriage. You cannot escape this storm in 3.5 hours. And the storm is growing increasingly violent as you progress towards the Witch Cat Inn. Through the window to the west, you can just barely make out Lake Malar. Foaming waves splashing against the shoreline. It's a very big lake, one of those lakes that actually has waves. And tonight, they are tumultuous. You begin traveling through a pine forest where you see small trees being knocked to the ground by the tempestuous winds or split by lightning strikes a couple of times. So close to the carriage, you swear you can feel the hair on the back of your arms begin to rise. In the flashes of lightning, you see large rocks among the trees, moss-covered lumps staring back at you as if they had eyes. And then suddenly, after 3 hours, the Witch Cat Inn appears at a T-junction, surrounded by woods with Lake Malar to the north and west. It appears to be the only building in the area, and the coachman is very clearly eager to drop you off and keep going to Sigtuna, where he's looking forward to a whiskey and a hot meal. You do know that halfway between the inn and Sigtuna up ahead, you can see the spire of a church protruding from the tree. So you exit the carriage. Let me get rid of that noise. Though the rain does not abate. and let me bring you to a new map. First, I need to put you on the map, and then I need to put your characters on the map. So give me a hot second to put you where the carriage dropped you off. I should have
And then
put
you
you there
go
ahead
onto
of
the map.
time.
And then you go
Dude,
onto the
you're
map.
on the map, and you're on the map, and you're on the map, and you're on the map, except you're actually all over here. Big one for this.
Okay.
So you exit the carriage, and you find yourself here, in front of the stables, beside the Witch Cat Inn. Standing under the awning is a rather skinny man with a relatively impressive mustache. Let's do that. He's got a wide, bushy mustache, round glasses, and though he is huddling under the narrow awning of the stable, there is rain dripping from the brim of his top hat and down onto his well-tailored coat. He is smoking a cigarette, the spark of which is the first thing you see in the fairly dim light as he looks to you and says, "Glad you could make it. I'm Olaus. Welcome to the Witch Cat." And that is
Greetings,
where we'll end
Olaus.
our session for tonight.
Ooh, that's a good ending. I like
Yeah.
that, Sarah.
Yeah, I tried. Let me get rid of the storm. Let me put on, I like this.
But the storm is soothing.
Oh, this is
So-
great music. I like this.
Oh,
Mm.
this is gonna be my recap music eventually when we have
I love
recaps. So thank you all so much for coming on this journey with me tonight. We're all learning the system together. I haven't done a session 0 before teaching a new system to people. We just kind of dove into Merkbury, like, let's go. So actually taking time to delve, I hope that felt well structured to all of you. I'm welcome to feedback from the players later in Discord. But thank you guys so much. I am so excited to meet these characters. And you guys have given me so much. You guys have unknowingly created stuff that feeds into this mystery in an amazing way. You've unknowingly created stuff that feeds into the long form mystery that I have been percolating in my head for the last 2 years in a big way. You have given me so much tonight, and I am so excited for the future of this game with all of you and anyone else who wants to come play with us. So, once again, we're going to go around the circle. I don't remember what order y'all are in anymore, so I'm going to start calling out names, but I'm pretty sure that Ben is next to me. So, Ben, remind us who you are and where we can find you.
I'm Ironhead454. You can find me here on Twitch with these guys. I'm usually in the Discord and Slices and Dices, also over on Mates of Fate. You can find me on TikTok, also under Ironhead454, making fun of my kids, my pets, and doing stupid crap.
I seriously feel like I might cave and make a TikTok just to watch Ben make fun of his kids. Like, I'm not even going to
Oh,
lie.
you should.
Like, I feel like that
It's
might
great.
I feel like that might be the thing that finally pulls me in because I really want to see what he does to his children. Every time I play with you, it tempts me. Thank you, Ben. Next up, Arne. Thank you, first of all, for waking up at 3:30 in the morning your time.
Gosh.
I am.
It's fine.
You
I
like
love
you
being here.
you and Jesper get gold medals in my life for coming to play these games with me. It makes my heart so happy. Please tell us where to find you on the webs of Inter.
Well, I hang around on the Discord of Slices and Dices, same as all these guys, and you can find me on YouTube at Redonian also, where I play Alien RPG with my friends.
And I need to check this out because I need to see your garage because it sounds amazing.
I have nothing.
It's good.
I
I've
mean-
been binging it this week.
It's nothing.
Someday when I have
amazing.
a house, I will have nerd things like this. But I live in 400 square feet, so not today.
It was actually one of the things we were looking for in a house, a big garage
yes.
to put silly stuff like that in.
Not to put
I'm
like a
coming-
car or anything else in, just to put your.
No.
just
I
to-
am
Why would you
coming
have a
to
car?
Belgium to play games in
Europe.
your garage. In about 2 years, I'm going to have a job where I actually make money, and I'm coming to see you.
Oh yeah.
Jane, you're up next.
Hello, I'm Jane, or you can find me on our Discord as Miss Deadite. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram, but I don't really do much on there very often. You'll find me playing on Slices and Dices, of course, here on Vaesen, or occasionally on Team B on Ravenloft. And there's also Star Wars 5e and Mass Effect 5e. Mass Effect, we're figuring out when to play that next. And
Burn Bright's coming up.
oh my god, yeah, Burn Bright. I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to introduce that character.
I am excited.
I have a special portrait for that character set up.
I'll tell a silly story about my Burn Bright character right after we finish introducing ourselves. Jane is also the queen of memes, everybody. If you are watching a stream that Jane is not playing in, or even if she is sometimes, go to the corresponding Discord channel and check for the memes. They're always on point.
Oh my god.
Thank you.
Matt, tell us about yourself. Sir.
Hi. Wow, what an awesome introductory experience, Sarah. So kudos to you, because seriously,
you.
it takes a lot to make a session 0 when you've never done it, but it's also when you're just previewing a new game, one that's built on the foundations of one that we're relatively familiar with and comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But
which helps.
It certainly helps, but to be honest, it is a relatively fearful prospect. So kudos to you, honestly, and I can foresee this becoming something really special. So I am looking forward to this in a very, very big way. There are some really amazing mechanics in it. The art is gorgeous. The overall oeuvre and genre and vibe of it is super up our alley. A couple things of note that
so up my alley.
A couple things of note, and I highly recommend the other 4 of you to check. I was intrigued by the idea of being born on a Thursday and whatever that means. So I just happened to sort of go into the internet just in the last few minutes just to determine when it was that I was born. What?
Are you actually a Thursday's child?
And I am.
Hell yes, I'm Tuesday.
Thursday's child.
Which is super ironic because Tuesday's child is full of grace and I am the clumsiest motherfucker you've ever seen. If I'm not dancing, very graceful. Acting, very graceful. Daily life, clumsy motherfucker.
A Thursday's child is what?
Thursday's child has far to go.
Fuck's sake, that's for sure.
That is, I'll dig it up for next session. The old nursery rhyme is in the book, and that's why they chose Thursday's children.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's I think it's Monday's child is fair of face, Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is made of woe. Thursday's child is far to go. I think that's it. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, no, trust me, I immediately double checked and I'm a Tuesday.
Ben, you were Thursday?
I was also born on a Thursday.
Yes!
Born on a Wednesday.
Actual Thursday's children. Oh, you're full of woe,
Sunday.
Sorry.
That makes a lot of sense.
Sunday. I don't remember what Sunday is. I lose it at Thursday. I'm sorry.
So those of you who are watching this and those of you who are listening in, or if this was your first time playing or listening.
Well, I think Matt needs to make a Vaesen channel, and then everyone can chime in.
Did make a Vaesen
we're born
channel
on
in our
Yay!
Discord.
I haven't seen it yet. Amazing.
So go ahead into our Discord, which I'm going to ask you guys, which as I clumsily enter our Discord thing to come hang on our Discord. I did make a Vaesen channel. There are plenty of other game channels there, guys. We've made every game that we play. There's a game channel for you to jump into and to start talking to us. Ask us
if you're watching on YouTube, you will find our Discord link in the doobly-doo below.
Exactly. Thank you, Sarah. Ask us questions. Introduce yourselves. Just say hi. There's no one on this channel at all that isn't an awesome person. I'm gonna say that out loud.
This is very true.
So,
it's oddly true. It's amazing.
Feel free to start, because this is how every single one of us got involved, is just being cool and just being open and friendly and following the credo of this channel, which is to take care of each other, but don't forget to take care of yourselves.
Oh, Matt just said it, so what am I going to say at the end now?
Well, you have to be your own person, because Red comes up with his
damn it,
own.
but I know, but I always take that one because I like it.
Well, you don't have
and
to.
Now I have to think.
I say it just because it's true. You could say.
I mean, so do I. I like it, but now I apparently have to come up with something else. All right.
You don't
well
have to.
I
in
got
the
something.
well, we'll see if we'll see if I can come up with something in the next few minutes while
Okay.
I sign off. I am Sarah. I have been your dungeon llama. You can find me on
Dungeon.
on our Discord as Lovely Llama and on various social media platforms where I may or may not be posting anything. It really depends on the week. You can find me here in Slices as a player many times, playing all the other systems. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for playing. I kickstarted this system. I kickstarted Mythic Ireland and Britain. I am really excited to see where this game can go. In addition to like the long form mystery that I have literally been plotting in my head for the last 2 years, and I'm like this close to actually having it being ready to play it. But the awesome thing is that Ben's wife Julie is going to come join us once Dance of Dreams is over. So I get to sidebar and do that mystery while I finish solidifying my epic long form mystery. There's more published content. Maybe we'll take these investigators to Ireland and Britain. I've got a score of graphic novels that I kickstarted that are all folklore from lesser represented cultures that I plan to turn into Vaesen and find ways to bring them in. Because here's the thing, guys, it's a multicultural world.
Absolutely.
And when you travel, you take your spirits with you. Something that I plan on taking a lot of inspiration from, so I encourage my viewers, but not necessarily my players, in case I steal something directly, to check out is an old Reddit, it's a Reddit short fiction called How to Survive Camping, which is amazing. She also published it as a bunch of short novellas on Amazon. It's amazing. It is the most amazing delve into worldwide folklore I've ever encountered. And what she does with it is brilliant. And I'm really hoping that I can take a fraction of that awesomeness and imbue it into this campaign. And like players, if you read it, that's fine. But if I bring one of those creatures in, no, they'll be slightly different. So you can't vanquish them the way they're vanquished in that short fiction. Because honestly, that was what got me reading again during the pandemic when I didn't have the mental focus to read anything. It was reading this long form short fiction. I read it. But that being said, thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming to play with us. I cannot wait to see where this game goes. I'm very excited about these players and these characters, and I'm way too tired right now to come up with a new sign-off, so I'm going with the classic because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Take care of each other. But don't forget to take care of yourself. Good night, everybody. Thank you.